Have you ever wondered how some people effortlessly climb the ranks, especially in systems known for their rigid structures? It's like that friend in college who somehow always knew the bouncer, even at the bars they'd never been to. Except instead of cheap beer, we're talking about justice, and the stakes are a tad higher than a forgotten ID. This is where we delve into the murky waters of the good old boy system, a social structure where informal networks and unspoken understandings often overshadow merit and fairness. And let's be clear, this isn't about bashing law enforcement. It's about ensuring the very system designed to protect us is held to the highest standard. Because when the guardians themselves play favorites, who's left to call foul? Let's talk promotions, shall we? That magical time when hard work, dedication, and, oh right, sometimes knowing the right people all collide. In a perfect world, rising through the ranks of law enforcement would be solely based on merit. You ace your exams, clock in the hours, maybe talk a jumper off a ledge, bam, promotion. But as we venture deeper into this system, we often find a different reality. It's not always about who's most qualified, but who's most connected. Imagine being passed over for a promotion, not because you lacked the skills, but because you didn't share a beer with the right captain at the annual policeman's ball. And speaking of qualifications, let's talk diversity. Law enforcement should ideally reflect the communities they serve, right? A diverse police force isn't just a box to be ticked. It's about understanding, empathy, and effective policing. But when the good old boy network is in full swing, it can create a homogeneous environment where different perspectives struggle to find a foothold. It becomes less about serving the entire community and more about serving those who look and think like the ones in power. Accountability. That wonderful concept where actions have consequences. We all know it's crucial in any functioning society, but especially when it comes to those entrusted with power. And yet, within the good old boy ecosystem, accountability can sometimes feel like an endangered species. Think of it like this. Two officers commit the same infraction. One, an outsider, faces the full brunt of disciplinary action. The other, a card-carrying member of the in-crowd, receives a slap on the wrist, maybe a knowing wink. The message, loyalty to the network often trumps adherence to the rules. This inconsistency breeds a dangerous culture of impunity, a sense that certain individuals are above the law they're sworn to uphold. It erodes public trust, undermines the legitimacy of the entire system, and frankly, it's just not a good look. We need to ask ourselves, do we want a system where connections grant immunity or one where everyone is held accountable, regardless of their social standing within the force? Now let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, reform. When it comes to systems benefiting from the status quo, suggesting change is like walking into a hornet's nest wearing a meat suit. And the good old boy network is nothing if not resistant to change, especially when attack on our integrity, transparency,
What is your emergency?
Hey, on Highway 81, just north of Terrell, in between Terrell and Ryan, Oklahoma. It's probably about 3 miles north of Terrell. it actually looks like there's a piece of clothing maybe laying in the middle of the road now. I don't want to get too close. I just...
No, this is
Don't.
another 911 call that's looking at it.
In the small town of Terrell, Oklahoma, life is simple and close-knit. But on the night of September 3rd, 2023, this community was shaken by a tragedy that no one saw coming. Noah Prescrive, a 19-year-old full of life and dreams, attended a party at a friend's house. What started as a typical night of celebration soon took a dark turn.
Single day I think about him.
A long time for Noah Presgrove's aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, and grandparents to reflect on the 19-year-old's short life.
Not a time when you saw that boy did he not give you a hug, tell you how much he loved you.
He was goofy. He was hilarious.
Fearless.
Very
Fearless.
I've taught him life and about having fun in life, you know, and he's just always been there with us.
It's been a long time to...
Early in the night, tensions flared between Noah and Jack Newton. A heated argument broke out, leading to pushing and slapping. It was the first sign of trouble.
Okay, something big is going on here. First of all, the stories are changing. Second of all, you know, I'm hearing different stories from my family members that were out there. Like there was more than just one argument too. There was multiple arguments throughout that night. The party started getting a little bit aggressive.
So wait a minute, just back up. When you mean arguments, your arguments Noah with someone else?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There were several arguments, and Jack and Noah. You know, some of my nephews saw they got into a really heated argument. You know, and like I said, I inboxed Jack about it. You know, because like I said, we're really close as the wrestling family. So, and he's like, no, it wasn't that big of an argument. You know, we kind of hugged and made up, but then hearing different stories that I heard, it was a very, very aggressive. You know, even to some touching each other and pushing and stuff like that, and a little bit more. But I'm not going to elaborate on that right now. But it was aggressive. It was very aggressive. So, like I said, after that, I was like, okay, there's obviously a lot more here, and then.
And this is Saturday night, correct? Still, we're still on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is Sunday.
This is Sunday. Okay, I just want to keep track of.
My cousin shows up, and I stopped drinking. I took a picture of her on the porch, and a lot of people have seen. And I took a bunch of videos that you can see from the party. I took those, like me sitting in the corner with my pink knee brace on, videoing, and you can see Noah walk around in his black shorts and shirtless as usual. And if you can look at it, I was zooming on a girl. That's my cousin. I was showing my mom at the time that she was okay because she was worrying about her, and Georgia's mom didn't know that she was there. So, and I fell asleep after that.
About what time? About what time was it when you remember about falling asleep on that Sunday night?
It was around 2, like close to 2.
2 in the morning.
Yeah, 2 in the morning.
And before you went to sleep, though, Noah was still awake, walking around?
Oh, yeah. Noah was still awake, walking around.
And who else was there? Was Jack there, too?
Jack, I mean, it was mainly just the people that went to the breakfast the day before, plus Mikey. Mikey came there that day.
But was Jack awake at 2?
Yes, ma'am. And I woke up around 2:43, and my mom called me saying that she had picked up my cousin because they were worried about her, and they picked her up about a mile or so down the road because they noticed her location was moving, and told her to pull over. She was in the car with her friend, and they picked her up and called me, and I went right back to sleep after that.
When you woke up for that phone call, was there anybody in the room, anybody in the house?
Oh, yes, ma'am. They were playing beer pong in the kitchen.
Who?
Well, not the kitchen, the dining room or whatever. I'm pretty sure I seen Noah, Jack, Jasmine, and a couple other people. I don't remember, but whenever I originally fell asleep, there was so I'll like do the hand motions to like explain it. So when you walk into the house, the living room's on the right, and there's a couch right here, and then there's another couch, and then there's a recliner in the corner that you can see where I'm videoing from. And I sleep on the couch closest to the door. And whenever I went to bed, Brylan was on the couch beside me, and then Mikey was laying in the floor, and Isaac was in the chair, the recliner. But whenever Jack burst through the door in the morning, Brylan Sweat and Mikey, they swapped places. So I don't know if there's some activity going on before then, around that time, but so Mikey was on the couch at that time whenever Jack burst through the door, and Brylan was on the ground.
All right.
And
all right, let me back up a little bit. So at 2:41 when you first woke
2:43.
up, 2:43 when you first woke up after you fell asleep around 2 o'clock. So you're probably just napping for like 45 minutes. You're out. When you woke up, you saw Noah and was it and a couple other people playing beer pong?
yes, sir.
Okay, and then did you go back to sleep after that?
Yeah, I went right back to sleep.
Wait, but when you woke up at 2:43, Jack was playing beer pong with Noah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Jasmine was there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And
There's a couple others I don't really remember.
Was Avery there as well?
I know she was at the house. I don't know if she was in there.
Got it. But you didn't see her right then and there. Okay,
No,
so then after you noticed that, you just kind of like drift back off to sleep?
Yeah, I was tired, you can say.
but when you woke up at 2:43, so Isaac was on the couch?
No, Isaac was in the recliner.
Okay. So 2:43, Isaac's in the recliner, Mikey's on the couch.
Mikey's on the ground, and Brylan's on the couch.
Got it.
Okay. So let's do it
Right.
again. 2:43, Mikey's on the... Tell me where everybody was at 2:43 when you woke up.
All right, so Isaac's in the recliner. I'm on the couch. Brylan's on the couch, and Mikey's on the ground.
Got it.
Okay.
All right, so then you see them playing beer pong. Then you just kind of go back and you drift off into dreamland again.
Right. But before we get to Jack bursting in the door, let's just say, at what happened at 2:43, was when you went back to sleep, who else was laying around you?
So there was Isaac in the recliner in the corner, and other couch, and Brylan was on it, and there's two couches and there was a recliner. I was on one couch, Brylan was on the other couch, and Isaac was in the recliner, and Mikey was laying on the floor.
Okay, so all those guys were laying around, and you were laying around as well at 243. Meanwhile, Jack, Noah, Jasmine, and some other people were playing beer pong. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then after you went back to sleep, what was the next thing that happened?
Jack comes bursting through the door at 5:15, and the time that I know it was 5:15 was because I felt like I just went back to I just fell asleep. So I checked my phone and it was 5:15, and he yells, "Noah's dead! Noah's dead, guys!" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean Noah's dead?" And he said he's dead, and then he just took off to his truck and left. And I start waking up all the guys and tell them that we got to go because Jack says Noah's dead. And we all wake up and get dressed. And as I'm trying to find my shoes, I noticed that one of my Hey Dudes were missing. And come to find out later, Noah had it on.
Caden and the others rushed to the scene. There they found Noah's lifeless body. The shock and disbelief were palpable. The second caller, also named Tyler, provided more details. He said he was driving to work when he saw a naked body laying on the white line in the middle of the road. He had almost hit it, thinking it was a deer, but then realized it was a person.
911, what is your emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I was driving to work. I'm south of Terrell, or north of Terrell, south of Ryan. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure there's somebody laying dead along the road. They look naked. I'm staying back.
Okay, I just had 2 calls on that, and I have a deputy headed that way.
All right. Well, I'm sitting here blocking the road.
Oh, are you there waiting? Okay.
Because he's the body's laying right on the white line.
Oh, dang. It is a boy. He's naked, and he's laying on the white line. He's naked?
I turned around because I just about hit it because there's a deer run across the road, and I'm like, first I thought it was a deer, and I was talking to a guy I work with. I'm like, I don't think that's a deer.
Yeah, that's what my first caller said, thought it was a deer, and then when he looked back and he said, no, there's no way that's a deer.
No, and it actually looks like there's a piece of clothing maybe laying in the middle of the road now. I don't want to get too close.
Jeremy right now. No, this is another 911 call that's looking at it. Oh, she's already been in touch with Jeremy. Okay. Yeah, Jeremy's going to head that way. Jeremy's heading that way. She's on the
Okay. All right.
Okay, so you're staying there, or?
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and make sure nobody runs it over or anything else. I mean,
I have a art reporting party staying there until a deputy gets there to block so nobody hits them again. There is the reporting party is going to sit there with flashers on until. Okay, I appreciate it. Can I get your name and Well, you're going to be there. Okay.
Yeah, my name.
Okay, are you the one I just talked to?
No.
Oh, okay, because I had another Tyler call me too. Okay.
Oh.
What is your phone number?
It's let me remember my 580. I'm on my work phone, but I don't ever remember that number. That's my personal phone number I just gave you.
Okay, no, that's fine. Just for my logs of all the 911 calls I'm getting on it. But I do have the sheriff headed there and an undersheriff headed there too.
All right.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I have asked this question before, but here goes. Was Noah Pressgrove murdered in Oklahoma, or did somebody kill him accidentally and run away? Or was it an accident, period? Random, tragic, nobody's fault. It pains me to say it, but even 8 months later, it depends on who you talk to. Noah, as you will probably know, is this 19-year-old high school grad whose battered body turned up on the side of a highway Labor Day morning last year, naked, except for his shoes, one of which was not his. From the outset, the police called it suspicious, which wasn't much of a stretch, but then they went radio silent. The family never even got a proper death certificate. 2 days ago, bombshell. Noah's brother told us exclusively the police said to the family they were looking at several people as possible suspects in Noah's death. Implication, foul play. That same day, News Nation paid a visit to the Oklahoma City Medical Examiner's office, asking why, after all this time, why they had failed to produce an autopsy report. And then voila, there's Alex Capriello. Just yesterday, they produced an autopsy report listing Noah's cause of death as multiple blunt force injuries, perhaps from, are you ready? Unknown vehicle. Implication, pedestrian accident. But then under manner of death, which is accident, homicide, suicide, natural, the ME marked unknown. So we ran all of that by Joseph Scott Morgan, who's our go-to certified death investigator and forensic analyst. And he pointed out something really interesting. The assessment of the body was not done at the scene, and that the autopsy was done more than 24 hours after Noah was found, which is far from ideal. And now today comes a written statement from the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. And again, bombshell. They're investigating Noah's death along with the OSBI, the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, and pay close attention to the operative line in the new statement. It reads, and I quote, "Currently the OHP is not investigating Pressgrove's death as a murder," end quote. Which could be in line with the autopsy report. What about the family's report that police were looking at possible suspects? Do the police believe that Noah was a victim of homicide, death at the hands of another, but that it wasn't on purpose? And if so, they may want to have another chat with the ME. Or are the two investigating agencies not on the same page?
The autopsy revealed the extent of Noah's injuries, painting a grim picture of the force and trauma he experienced.
I am joined now by Dr. Michelle Dupree, a medical examiner and forensic pathologist. She oversaw the second autopsy of Stephen Smith, that South Carolina teenager and former acquaintance of Buster Murdaugh, whose mysterious death has a lot of similarities to Noah. Doctor, thank you for being on. I think the first question is, what do you make of the report? I can read it as a layperson. I think you see a lot more to it. What's your take?
Actually, I'm so glad y'all are looking into this, because this is not tracking as a motor vehicle accident. I am very strongly suspicious that there was some sort of an assault or something before he was actually found in the road, and perhaps even placed in the road to make it look like a traffic accident.
What are the things in particular, the evidence that make you think this is not a vehicle pedestrian accident as the autopsy lists?
There's so many. One, he has no long bone fractures. There are no fractures of his legs or his arms. He has injuries on both sides of his body. There was apparently no debris found at the scene. He also has rib fractures in his back. Typically, when we find fractures of the ribs, they're front or their side, but from the back means that he was hit by something from the back. But yet he also has injuries on the front of his head. His skull has significant and numerous skull fractures. This does not track to be a pedestrian motor vehicle accident in my mind.
Also, his shoes were on. Every one of those accidents I've seen, one of the first things you notice is that people literally are out of their shoes. Stephen Smith seemed to have his shoes on as well, right?
That's true. And a lot of times that is correct. The person is knocked out of their shoes, but it doesn't always happen. And in Stephen Smith's case, I don't believe that he was hit by the vehicle itself, but by something on the vehicle. And that's why his shoes were still left on.
Let me ask you this. Our friend Joseph Scott Morgan, who's a certified death investigator from Jacksonville State University, he said that the autopsy wasn't done for 24 hours after Noah died, and that the medical examiner was not out at the scene. I thought that was unusual, given that, little I know of your profession, a medical examiner's report takes in a lot of stuff that's not medical. It takes in the scene, the clues, the actual investigative, hints that are all around the way the body is out there. How strange is this?
Well, it actually depends on the jurisdiction. In some jurisdictions, medical examiners do go out to the scene. In others, they don't, and they have death investigators that'll go out to the scene. But we absolutely need that police report to get the totality of what happened to this young man. I haven't seen a police report. I don't know what it says, but we have to have that information, not just looking at pieces of it.
Michelle Dupree, Dr. Dupree, thank you so much for your wisdom. I'm going to call on you again because I know you know what you're talking about, and I'm appreciative of your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to end this by saying something important from the family. Noah's family wants everyone who's been following this case to know something that's very important to them. Noah did not have drugs in his system when he died. If you don't believe me, you can view that part of his autopsy online. We have it at newsnationnow.com. You can also download our app, and you'll get all the information from the past as well. But very important to the family because they said a lot of rumors are out there. Noah did not have drugs in his system in that autopsy. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Noah Presgrove's life was tragically cut short. The events of that night remain a painful mystery. This documentary is a tribute to his memory and a quest for the truth.
Hello, lovely peoples. How's everybody doing? It's been ages, but I had to go live. I had a very small opportunity window of time, and what the actual hell is going on in Nashville? Okay, I got so many things to say about this, but let's start from the beginning for some of you that have not heard.
Are you driving way less than you used to? Do you have a clean driving record? Are you over 25?
Metro Police did confirm that they are searching along the Cumberland River for a woman who is missing. A report came in sometime during the overnight that that she was missing. This is a live look from the News 2 First Alert Unit near the Gay Street connector.
Okay, so we still going to keep saying this shit's an accident? Or are we going to acknowledge that there's some fuckery going on? Because I don't believe in coincidences. And this, my friend, is not a coincidence. What he just said was there was someone else missing at the connector of Gay Street and First Avenue. Well, why does that sound so freaking familiar, you guys? Well, gee, that's only where Riley disappeared from. I digress.
Time during the overnight that that she was missing. This is a live look from the News 2 First Alert Unit near the Gay Street connector. Police did also confirm to Jerry Barler with the News 2 First Alert Unit that they found a shoe. And they also found blood in the area. And now they are working to see if the discoveries are connected to the search for this woman.
Riley took off from outside the bar, his friends calling him as he stumbled in the wrong direction of their hotel.
Well, Catfish, if the police would have responded the same way that they did with this girl, like hours after she went missing, and the fucking frat brothers weren't just like, partying it up like it's 1970 fucking 7 and didn't say anything. They didn't keep in mind they as in the fucking scroungy ass police department didn't start looking for Riley until 3 days later. So this could have had a very similar outcome had they responded the same way. But I'll digress about that because that's not the point I'm trying to make tonight. The point I'm trying to make is there's something fucking going on right here in Nashville. And if people think that these people are just walking off the ledge drunk themselves, you are out of your fucking mind. You are out of your fucking mind. They let this girl go, whoever the fuck is doing this, because of all the police presence so quickly on. Why do you think, oh, she doesn't know how she got there? Well, yeah, that's because she was fucking roofied. Hello. Oh, well, Riley wasn't roofied. How the fuck do you know? Because it wouldn't have been in a system 2 weeks later. And let me just keep in mind, his body was still in partial rigor mortis when he was pulled out of that water. So how the fuck did that happen when he was supposedly in the water for 2 weeks? Partial rigor mortis would have been gone for about 9 days after that, if we're supposed to believe that timeline. That's horse shit. I digress.
Just before 10 p.m., Metro Police dash cam.
Now we got dash cam video. Have any of you seen this dash cam video? So you're telling me there's a video somewhere that you see Riley fall into the water. That's what they're saying, right? Right? It's what I heard.
Video.
So if that means that this happened close enough that he was on dash cam video, that means that officer was in ear range of it because he should not have been out of ear range from his running vehicle that didn't have running lights or parking lights on, that was sitting on the opposite side of the road, mind you. That means this officer was close enough that he fucking heard it when it happened. You didn't hear the splash? How was that? If your dash cam caught it, that means you should be close enough to hear it. Right? Right.
Captured, quote, a person that appears to be strained standing at the wooden rail under the James Robertson Parkway.
Now we have semantics. A person that appears to be Riley. Is it fucking Riley or is it not? This isn't rocket science. Now, we're going to get into this later and throughout the stream because this shit's got me real big mad because, oh, remember all the stupid ass excuses we've gotten throughout Riley's whole investigation. Oh, well, the footage is grainy and it holds no depth and it has no relevance. Well, look at the footage, not the footage. I know it's footage that they have, but look at the screenshots that they provided of this girl that goes missing, and you can count the fucking cotton thread in her damn pants. The picture's so clear, but you're telling me we can't see what the fuck happened to Riley? I call bullshit. Bullshit. They ain't showing it because it doesn't fit their fucking narrative.
Bridge.
Really an unbelievable moment to witness. I'm still wrapping my head around it. Dozens of law enforcement members were right here behind me. They were searching for Alexandria Schimmel. And then all of a sudden, one of those officers who was stationed just steps away along the riverfront spots.
All of a sudden, just so happens, there's a camera ready right there when she just comes crawling up. Stop it! This isn't fucking Hollywood. It doesn't fucking happen like that. Okay, sure. Okay, I guess pigs fly too. Make sure you get that on camera. Just so happens, breaking news. We've got a wild and mysterious. Oh, get the fuck out of here! Real fucking convenient for your this just really helps your police department look more gooder, doesn't it? Whenever you are under all this speculation and criticism, and this just happens to does it cancel it out now? Or is everybody gonna look the other way now? I beg to fucking differ. And I'm gonna show you the pictures of this said distressed woman too, because she's just sharing a coke and with us and laughing it up with the fucking officers. There doesn't seem to be a bit of panic. If I was someone that had been in the water for 7 hours, 9 hours, whatever they're saying, first of all, she didn't even look wet. Second of all, she's just thirsty and doesn't even seem concerned about how'd I get in the water. I would be fucking panicked. Like, get me to the hospital. Let's get all this. What happened to me? What the hell was in my system? She's just chatting it up with the Metro Nashville, like, oh, like almost like she was doing what she was supposed to do. I said what I said. This just so happens to be the exact same spot. Like, oh, look, it's not. It it could happen to anybody, but look, we found him this time. We found her. Look, and we found her quick. Well, yeah, imagine that. That's because you fucking looked, dickheads.
Her. He sees her climbing up the embankment, this very steep cliff.
How you doing, sir?
No, the fuck she wasn't. Show that on camera. That bitch. Sorry, no offense. Sorry, let me. Sorry, I'm a little triggered. That lady was not climbing up the side of that embankment. I don't give a damn what y'all tried to say, Nashville. Show that. I want to see that. Not right there, she ain't. You're out of your babbit ass mind if you think that's even plausible. She barefoot and hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Y'all don't let them fucking convince you of what you already know. Y'all have seen JLR's videos. Y'all have seen CJ's videos. Y'all have seen all the drone footage. That embankment, you are not crawling up it. The same embankment that they had to impel themselves down with rope is the same embankment that she just casually just happened to be crawling up where the cameras are at. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Who are you convincing? You ain't convincing me of nothing but the fact that you are full of shit, and you really, really need the public to believe this, because if not, you're gonna have to pay billions of dollars to fucking fix this problem that you have. And apparently that's what's holding up them putting up more barriers is money. They're waiting on funding, but the billions of dollars they make every weekend on Broadway alone, they can't dip into that pot, heaven fucking forbid. They got to wait for more tax paying funding to be able to fix the fucking Broadway problem. Miss me with that fuck shit too. Get it together, Tennessee. Oklahoma, you're fucking next.
I'm good. How are you? Good.
And then she is standing on the sidewalk. So this is what it looked like. She was dirty. She was not wearing shoes. We're told she was able to identify herself and told officers she had been in the river, but she didn't know why, and that she was thirsty. She was immediately taken to the hospital. And according to police, the 33-year-old is from New Jersey. She was in Nashville.
Is that even the same girl? Look how fucking skinny this girl's arms is here. She's pretty thick here. Not to be inappropriate, but this girl is thick. Okay, look at this girl. This girl is like a straw. Come on, and she's in the water 8 hours or 7 hours, and she's just drawed up. Look at that. No. No, 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 no. Nashville, stop it.
Herself and told officers she had been in the river, but she didn't know why, and that she was thirsty. She was immediately taken to the hospital. And according to police, the 33-year-old is from New Jersey. She was in Nashville visiting a friend. They got separated around 2 a.m.
What the fuck am I watching right now? They can. Okay, first of all, she's already barefoot here. Okay. So it's not like she just lost her shoe down there when she got down there. I mean, she's carrying them right here. She's probably because she's in heels, and that's what happens by the end of the night. If you're most women, you are not walking in them, especially if you're a little intoxicated, because that's how you break an ankle. So, um, it's weird that the verbiage is just super fucking weird. Like they want you to believe it was something nefarious, and then because there's blood and a shoe, and then all of a sudden she's just crawling up the side of the embankment. Well, she had her shoes in her fucking hand 3 blocks back. Why don't you mention that? Like, it's not like she was ripped out of her fucking shoes. She was already barefoot by the time she got there. What, like, why even mention that? And then, oh, okay, well, she just came crawling out. Well, what the hell did she do before she jumped in? She just threw her fucking phone in her shoes and said, "I'm going for a swim." The only thing that would have made that any more fucking perfect would be that she somehow just lost her pants in the process, but still had her underwear on. Come on. Like, come on, Nashville. Leave the screenwriting to Hollywood, because y'all are just need to stick the songwriting, because this is terrible. This is horrible. Horrible.
And then these surveillance pictures show her walking toward the riverfront.
This surveillance video from Luke Bryan's bar shows Riley Strain getting escorted down the stairs after staffers say he had too much to drink. Riley took off from outside the bar, his friends calling him as he stumbled in the wrong direction of their hotel. According to police documents exclusively obtained by Fox 17 News, just before 10 p.m., Metro Police
Obtained exclusively by Fox, but it's so blurry, like you can't read it. So, yay! Thank you, Cricket. I'm glad I'm not the only one losing my mind like that. They didn't even. Her pants. She doesn't even look wet, but yet her pants are supposed to be. Those are light ass jeans. Hell no is right. Thank you. Like, and the other girl, like, she's thick. She's like thicker than a fucking Snicker over here, and this girl looks like a damn, like she's string bean, the green bean, like it. Her arm, the hair length ain't even the same. This girl's got hair past her shoulders, midways almost down to where her tube top starts, and you can see the top of her right here where her shoes are. You can see her cleavage over here. This girl's fucking flat as a piece of paper over here. And she's been in the water for 7 hours, but she's just standing there, just so happens to be right at where the fucking cameras are at. And yet, this is the same girl. If this is even a girl, I mean, no offense, but this is Nashville. This was a fucking publicity stunt, so that people would say, "Oh, look, Metro Nashville did a good job this time. Let's not be assholes and be, let's just not be, we can weigh it out. One died, one lived. Look at that. Now we're good. All's good. Now can you go about your business and stop worrying about us? Get the microscope off of us and what we do, so we can get back to business as usual, because we're a bunch of shady, scroungy fucks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much." See, that's how you do real acting. This is pitiful. Pitiful. Like, she doesn't even, her hair ain't even wet. And
herself and
she was in the river for 8 hours. She would be dripping water. She's not even fucking wet. First of all, that tube top would be gone. And you ain't even got no sleeves, girl. Who are you fooling? Like, what are you doing?
Told officers she had been in the river, but she didn't know why.
Didn't know why. Huh. Huh.
and that she was thirsty. She was immediately taken to the hospital. And according to police, the 33-year-old is from New Jersey.
That is not the same girl. That's not the same outfit. I don't give a damn what they say. Bullshit.
In Nashville visiting a friend. They got separated around 2 a.m. and then these surveillance pictures show her walking toward the riverfront.
This surveillance video from Luke Bryan's bar shows Riley Strain getting escorted down the stairs after staffers say he had too much to drink. Riley took off from outside the bar, his friends calling him as he stumbled in the wrong documents exclusively obtained by Fox 17 News. Just before 10 p.m., Metro Police dash cam video captured, quote, a person that appears to be Strain standing at the wooden rail under the James Robertson Parkway.
It appears to be Riley Strain because according to them, it appears to be that same girl in this same footage. So it don't take much to convince them. Was it fucking Riley or was it not? And if it's Riley in the body cam footage, and what you're saying is you have him falling on the dash cam footage into the water, that means your fucking officer was close enough to hear that shit. Because he shouldn't have been far enough away from his car that he couldn't. Or he is not doing his job correctly. Considering it was unlocked and not running with no running lights on, he should not have been anywhere out of ear's range from that dash cam. So you're telling me your officer heard him fall into the water and didn't call that in when he heard the big splash? Oh boy, do we have a problem there, Houston.
Bridge. Detectives write they believe Strain crossed over that wooden guardrail and lost his balance, falling off of a ledge. Detectives also believe the river was high enough that Strain fell directly.
I don't give a fuck what you believe. I believe that pigs fly, but that doesn't mean their asses are out there flapping the fuck away now, is it? I don't give a fuck what you believe. Stop wording it like that, you fucking weirdo. Did it or did it not? Was the fucking water high enough or was it not? It's not, there is no could have. Jesus fucking Christ, do you realize how much room for opportunity you leave in what could have happened? Hell, he could have been running around with the fucking Easter bunny and got tripped up on his fucking tail and fell into the he could have done anything. Don't fucking say that shit. Not when you're closing an investigation based off of this investigative statement. You should know without a doubt, unequivocally, that this happened, and you should have facts and proof and forensic evidence to back it up, or you should just shut the fuck up. Scrougy fucks.
Into the water, then drowning.
Police say she made a phone call to her mom with
It's time to feed the dogs real food.
I think I may have done something terrible.
Fund powerful ads to reach undecided voters nationwide. $10 can help open field offices in key battleground.
Why don't we get to see that angle? Why didn't we see this for fucking Riley at all? Look, we got, first of all, hello, Nashville does have timestamps. It's a miracle. Okay, this little thing up here, if y'all can see my mouse, this means it's a video. So this is a still shot from a video. Why don't we get to see the video? Why do we only get to see the still shot? Why don't we get to see where she went, where she came from, which direction? Did she come down the steps? Did she come from down here? Did she walk across the street and come over here? Did she come from this way? Why do we only get to see the still shot? And why didn't we get to see anything from this fucking camera angle of Riley? Because it's good enough for, okay, anyways, and what is this? Who is this? What is this? What the fuck? Who is this? What is up with this truck? Where did she go? Did she talk to anybody? Did she get on her phone at any point in this time? Why are we given the and listen, let me just be inappropriate for a second. I'm sorry to whoever this girl is. I'm very sorry. I'm about to perv on you, but it's necessary. Okay, this girl, look at the tone in her legs. Okay, look at she's got muscle on her arms. Okay, she's got booty for days, and she's not flat chested. What the fuck are we supposed to believe? That's the same girl that on the news that looks like a fucking dried up raisin compared to this girl? No. No, no. And who is this? Why? This is weird, you guys. It's weird. They're in all black. Let's zoom in. The closer you get to the camera, the grainier it is. That shouldn't be that way anyway. But he's got a nice ass fucking pillow and white sheet when he's homeless. Like, okay. And it's still white. He's dressed in all black. Looking down. What the fuck are we believing here, you guys? This looks like it came from a hospital or a fuck, like this is super clean and super fucking tidy and neat. Like homeless people just pulling their white sheets out and their white fucking pillowcases and shit out and just, let me just have a nap here because what the hell? This is what we're supposed to believe, right? Right? This is a homeless guy, right? Get the fuck out of here. I ain't buying that shit. Not for 1 second.
You know the U.S. solar company's nasty little secret? It turns out if you live in Florida, they have to give you
just happening right.
Okay, now we're supposed to believe that there was just so happens to be cameras here when they found this girl. Okay.
Right now, I'm overhearing some officers saying they found her. So all of these.
She's laughing. She's fucking laughing. She's laughing. She thought she was going to die, doesn't know how she got in the river, was in the river for 7 to 9 hours, crawled to the top, fighting for her life, and she's laughing. Come on, people.
Officers are walking to the riverfront underneath the bridge here. They're trying to figure out what happened. It looks like they're speaking to one woman who is standing along the riverfront. Again, just hearing shouts that they found her. That surveillance photo that we were showing you, that was the last point that we know she was seen. It was along Woodland Street near.
What the fuck?
Hearing shouts that they found her. that surveillance photo that we were showing you, that was the last point that we know she was seen. It was along a woodland.
Get her or it's her?
Street near Gay Street. This is the photo that we want to show you, this live picture right here of Cruz walking toward this woman who claims.
I thought they found her. That's what they said. They found her. It sounds like she found them. Sounds like she just popped up right where Riley was last seen at and just said, look, oh my God, I crawled my way to the top. Bitch, no you didn't. You didn't crawl no fucking where. You might have walked around there from the other side, but you didn't crawl up that embankment with bare fucking feet and your little scrawny ass. You know the fuck you didn't. I call bull motherfucking shit. Bullshit. Prove it. You got video of that? I'll wait. You didn't fucking crawl. Are you kidding me? Miss me with that shit. And where's the urgency? They're all laughing and like, hey, what's up? It's just another fucking Tuesday. Or it's actually Thursday, but you know what I mean? Where's the stretchers? I mean, goodness, she should be dehydrated by now. She said she's thirsty. Oh, I bet she's fucking thirsty, all right? The fuck are you guys talking about? What is this? Stop the bullshit.
A Street. This is the photo that we want to show you, this live picture right here of Cruz walking toward.
What did that bitch just say? This is the photo I want to show you. What did she just say?
We know she was seen. It was along a woodland street near Gay Street. This is the photo that we want to.
This is the photo.
Show you this live picture right here.
This is the photo we want to show you. This is the live picture. Bitch, did you forget your line? What? What? You mean this is the live stream from the still picture that we're trying to make you believe is the same person? That's what you meant to say because that's the truth. However, you went off script from whatever the fuck you're trying to do here. But I'll allow it. This time. You're probably going to be in big trouble, though. With whoever, writes your script. What the fuck are you talking about? This is a still picture we want to show you of our live stream. Oh, wait. I didn't mean to say that. What the fuck?
Here of Cruz walked that we know she was seen. It was along a woodland street near Gay Street. This is the photo that we want to show you, this live picture right here of Cruz walking toward this.
She said live picture. This is the live picture. Well, ain't that something? This is the live picture. That's an awkward way to say that. I think Butter's done made it mainstream, y'all. Oh, shit.
This woman who claims that she may have found this missing woman again.
May have. You notice they're not saying it. If it was her, they could just say it. The fact that they're not is because heaven forbid somebody that's a little bit of intelligence comes and says, wait a second, the math ain't mathin'. And then they have made that statement. That is going to be in trouble. They would get in trouble because that's a lie. But they can play semantics when they say things like possibly, maybe, we believe, could be. And that's how they get out of getting sued because this is bull fucking shit. Bullshit. Not even good bullshit. This is bad quality bullshit. Once again, leave the fucking screenwriting to Hollywood, Nashville, and stick to songwriting because this is not your cup of tea, boo-boo. Stop it. This is bad. This is horrible. Smarkles can do better screenwriting than this shit, and you know where his movies got him. Shit. All right, Edwina, I'll start over. So, we got a lady, that supposedly, allegedly, what they want us to believe, um, just happened to fall off into the river from a drunk night out on Broadway, I'm assuming, on Gay Street, and pretty much right where Riley disappeared from. And they found her this morning. Well, so they're saying, but they expect us to believe that she just crawled up the side of that embankment barefoot and the whole 9 yards. And well, I'm not even gonna say anything. I just want you to see what you say so that I don't feel like I'm making y'all see things my way. But look, this girl is not even the same girl. Like, I'm gonna just say that, and I'm gonna push play.
Metro Police did confirm that they are searching along the Cumberland River for a woman who is missing. A report came in sometime during the overnight that that she was missing. This is a live look from the News 2 First Alert Unit near the Gay Street connector. Police did also confirm to Jerry Barler with the News 2 First Alert Unit that they found a shoe. And they also found blood in the area. And now they are working to see if the discoveries are connected to the search for this woman.
Riley took off from outside the bar, his friends calling him as he stumbled in the wrong direction of their hotel. Just before 10 p.m., Metro Police dash cam video captured, quote, a person that appears to be Strain standing at the wooden rail under the James Robertson Parkway Bridge.
Really an unbelievable moment to witness. I'm still wrapping my head around it. Dozens of law enforcement members were right here behind me. They were searching for Alexandria Schimmel. And then all of a sudden, one of those officers who was stationed just steps away along the riverfront spots her. He sees her climbing up the embankment, this very steep cliff.
How you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you? Good.
And then she is standing on the sidewalk. So this is what it looked like. She was dirty. She was not wearing shoes. We're told she was.
This isn't the same fucking pants. This isn't this girl is flat like a piece of paper on both sides. She ain't got no booty. She ain't got no boobies. Her arms are all drawed up. Her fucking neck is. She looks like a. I digress. Look at the damn still shots of the girl that actually went missing, okay? Because now we get to see, you know, this is bad. This is bad, bad, bad. Horrible excuse for. Okay. So now we get a time-stamped motherfucking. Well, it should be a video because we got that little video tab up there, which means it's a video, but we only get to see a still shot of it because, you know, I don't know. But it says Woodland and North First Avenue. Okay. And it's time stamped. I didn't know Nashville did that, but hey, there's a first for everything. Look at this girl. This girl is thicker than this girl is got. Look at her calf muscles. Booty for days. This is not the same girl. This is not the same girl. Not even close. Okay, look at this one. First of all, you can count the fucking thread count on her shorts in this one, but oh, the grainy footage. Look at this shit. Church Street and Fifth Avenue, PTZ 1 with a timestamp. Okay, 145. This is not the same fucking girl. Look how thick her arms are, and she's already got her shoes off in her hand, mind you. So it's not like she just lost her shoes in the middle of a scuffle down there or whatever the hell they were implying. But look at this girl. This girl's got booty for days. Her fucking calf muscles are thick. This is not the same. Look how thick her arms are. This is not the same girl. And look how light her jeans are here. This is not the same girl. It's not the same girl. Look at it. Look at this. Please tell them to quit. It's not the same girl. I digress.
Was able to identify herself and told officers she had been in the river, but she didn't know why, and that she was thirsty. She was immediately taken to the hospital. And according to police, the 33-year-old is from New Jersey. She was in Nashville visiting a friend. They got separated around 2 a.m. And then these surveillance pictures show her walking toward the riverfront.
This surveillance video from Luke Bryan's bar shows Riley Strain getting escorted down the stairs after staffers say he had too much to drink. Riley took off from outside the bar, his friends calling him as he stumbled in the wrong direction.
Oh, she was only missing for like from I think the friend reported her missing at like 4 a.m. and they found her the next morning at 9 a.m. And she was alleged to be in the water the whole time, but yet still had her tube top on. The current didn't rip her tube top off, but it ripped Riley's jeans off, right? And she was just kicking and I mean, come on, that girl for 7 hours. Not to mention she doesn't even look wet when she's standing there. Come on. Yeah, and they supposedly found her phone and her shoes and blood on the embankment.
Direction of their hotel. According to police documents exclusively obtained by Fox 17 News, just before 10 p.m., Metro Police dash cam video captured, quote, a person that appears to be Strain standing at the wooden rail under the James Robertson Parkway Bridge. Detectives write they believe Strain crossed over that wooden.
Someone that resembled Strain, or was it Strain? Someone that resembled this girl, because they think that girl resembles her. Okay, and if that means that you got Riley on body cam or dash cam, I'm sorry, shouldn't your officer have been close enough to his car that he fucking heard it? You didn't hear the splash, my guy? Oh, okay.
Guardrail and lost his balance, falling off of a ledge. Detectives also believe the river was high enough that Strain fell directly into the water, then drowning.
Police say she made a phone call to her mom, which raised some red flags. So her mom called in a welfare check. All of this led officers here where they used drones, helicopters, boats, and also rappelled down the cliff. Her phone and her shoes were found along the riverfront, along with some blood. Now, those who worked this case, they've worked these similar ones for decades, and they say they have never seen anything like this.
I think it's truly a miracle that she was fine because, like I said, she climbed herself right up. We don't even know how far she went down into the river, but I just look at it as if she was blessed, quite honestly.
$10 can help fund powerful ads to reach undecided voters nationwide. $10 can help open field offices in key battleground states, the ones that we need to win in November. $10 can help hire organizers to knock on doors.
Just happening right now, I'm overhearing some officers saying they found her. So all of these officers are walking to the riverfront underneath the bridge here. They're trying to figure out what happened. It looks like they're speaking to one woman who is standing along the riverfront. Again, just hearing shouts that they found her. That surveillance photo that we were showing you, that was the last point that we know she was seen. It was along Woodland Street near Gay Street. This is the photo that we want to show you, this live picture right here of crews walking toward this woman who claims that she may have found this missing woman. Again, 33-year-old Alexandria Chimmel from New Jersey. She was visiting.
Is she the woman that may have found the woman? What the fuck kind of clusterfuck is, what is she saying?
Woodland Street near Gay Street. This
is
the photo that we want to
This is the photo that we want to show you.
This live
picture
right here of crews walking toward this woman who claims that she may have
walking towards this woman who claims she may have found this woman. Well, isn't she the woman? What are you talking about?
Along Woodland Street near Gay Street. This is the photo that we want to show you, this live picture right here of Cruz walking toward this woman who claims that she may have found this missing woman, again, 33-year-old Alexandria Chimmel from New Jersey. She was visiting Nashville with a friend. They got separated at some point after being downtown. That was around 2 a.m. And then she was reported missing around 3:45 a.m. this morning. This search has included drones, helicopters. It appears also that officers have been rappelling over this cliffside down to the Cumberland.
So the officers are having to rappel themselves down, but this little scrawny old thing just crawled up the side of it like fucking Tarzan. Are you, y'all ain't buying this, are you? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Barefoot and all. She's just crawling up the side of that embankment like it's fucking, like she's Tarzan and Jane or some shit. But they're rappelling down it. But she just crawled up it like it was nothing. Because if she could do that all fucking night, why is she still down there? Why the fuck ain't she crawl up it at 3:47? I mean, hell, if she did it like that, why the fuck have you been down there for 7 fucking hours waiting for the cameras to get there? Quit.
River because it is a very steep cliff. So we're going to see exactly what is causing this commotion down at the river.
Y'all see what that says as for the photo credits? Courtesy Metro Nashville Police Department. So they just happen to be standing here with cameras. And she's smiling for somebody that's, in distress and been down there all night. She's awful smiley. Then we got we all know that the river moves very fast and strong current, so it's a miracle that she was able to pull herself out. She supposedly got separated. I say supposedly because I can. From her friends on Broadway around 2 a.m. when she was reported missing around 3. They were live when they spotted her climbing up the riverbank around 9 a.m. I didn't see that. Did you? I just seen her standing there with a bunch of cops that were laughing and chucking it up. As the search for strain, surveillance footage helped authorities rule out foul play and determine her travel direction. What is this? Okay, Metro Nashville told news that as with the search for strain, surveillance footage helped authorities rule out foul play and determine her travel direction. Well, what the fuck? A lot of those cameras were instrumental in showing there was no crime that occurred. It gives a better idea of their behavior and demeanor up until the point that we lose sight of them. What? The search was focused near the Gay Street connector and the Woodland Street Bridge, which is also where Strain was last seen alive. Well, imagine fucking that. Strain's body was recovered nearly 4 months ago, and after he went missing during a night of drinks on Broadway. When people fall into the river, and this was the problem we had with previous high-profile incident, people who are not from the area and people who don't live near a river don't understand the power of a river. It is very hard, especially if somebody's having some kind of medical episode under the influence of alcohol or some kind of substance. A Metro Council member in that area has pushed to bring some sort of guardrail to that area. I want folks to know that we take this very seriously. And after Riley, we made some very big strides, and this is going to continue to embolden our efforts. The plan is to still install fencing or barriers by the cliffside areas along the Cumberland River. However, he added that we are waiting for funding. Waiting for funding, which means he's waiting for somebody to sign off so taxpayer dollars can pay for it, because Broadway alone makes billions of dollars every fucking weekend. And it's Broadway's problem because where do they come from? They come from Broadway, but Broadway can't dip into their little fucking pot and fund some damn barriers because it's really not a problem they give a fuck about. That's what he meant to say. But we're going to pay for it because it's our brothers, cousins, uncles, friends, sisters that are the ones that are losing their lives. So we're going to pay for it, not the reason why they're in that state and end up down there to begin with. Heaven forbid they have to fucking foot the bill. Not like they could afford it, with their billions of dollars they make for doing nothing, but irresponsibly shoving a bunch of people into a freaking small ass space like sardines and giving them drunk and putting them in danger and not letting them know there's pickpockets every which way you turn around, people waiting to take advantage of when you're drunk and roofie you. That such great people. Such great people. That's heaven forbid that start with the root of the problem. Let's just deal with the symptom of the problem and treat it like it's the only part of the problem. Sure. Sounds like the Nashville way. So this, okay, 153. First of all, is that even plausible? Let's see. Where's this other picture? 153, and this is what? 145? And how far is Church in 5th from Gay Street? Or no, Woodland. Church Street and 5th Avenue. Okay, walking 11 minutes. So 45, 46. Uh-uh. Might have found another oopsie. Unless she was running. This has 11, 12 minutes. And the time between the two timestamps, one's at 1:45, the other one's at 1:54. 1:53. So she was getting it. She wasn't drunk stumbling if that's the case, because she did that shit in 4 minutes, 5 minutes quicker than Google would have. 3-minute drive. 0.5 mile, half a mile. And if she was doing that, she was getting it. She didn't seem like she was lost, that's for sure. Like she was. And why do we only get to see the still shots? This little thing up here indicates this is a video. So there's video. Where did she come from? Which direction did she walk from? Did she come from over here? Did she get out of this truck? Did she come down these steps? Did she come from over here and walk across the road? Did she come from this way? What the fuck? Why? And who's this guy? Just sitting here. A homeless guy, because that's what they're going to try to say. With a crisp, clean, white ass tape a pillow with a pillowcase on it. First of all, what homeless people got white pillows and pillowcases that are still white, and a sheet that's folded up all nice and prim and proper, and it's still white. He's in all black. He just sitting here, not laying down sleeping, just sitting here. Better yet, what homeless people? I mean, is that Silky? I mean, what is happening? And I know one thing, she's oblivious. She's oblivious to his existence because it's kind of creepy. Or did she come from up here? These steps lead to up there, up top, where the fucking weird guy is that goes and does all the recording in the bars, talking about highway to hell. When he's up here, that's what he starts singing, highway to hell, like a fucking weirdo. That's Bicentennial Park or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah. It's where the fucking parking garage elevators and shit are at. Yeah, right there. Fucking weird, man. All right, hold on. Timestamp 1:45. There you go. Can't see the street because it's apparently. This almost looks like. Listen, I hate to say it. This picture looks like fucking AI. Like, why don't you get? Why are all the? It's almost too definite, like too defined. Like, but you can't make anything out. Like it's so high definition, but you can't read the street sign right here. Like, why is it all whited out? Why is there no glare off of the light? It almost looks like a fucking painting of it or an AI of it. Like, what the fuck? Why can't you read that? This is weird. This doesn't look like a actual picture. This okay, let's look at this is not what Riley looks like crossing the street. But to play devil's advocate and just to argue my point of this whole conversation, that is not the same girl standing there with that cop. Look, first of all, look at her calf muscles. Okay, let's just start there. She's got tight ass jeans on. Okay, she's got pockets, belt loops, skinny jeans. They cuff your ankle. They don't go all the way. They stop right at her ankle. Okay, tight ass skinny jeans. Look at her calf muscles. She's got tone in her calf muscles for days. She's got thick ass thighs, booty for days. And you can see right here, even though she's holding her shoes, you can still see her cleavage over the top of her shirt right here. She's not all flat chested like that other girl is that we're supposed to believe is her. And look how freaking much tone she's got in her arms right here. The other girl, her bones are showing in her neck. That is not the same girl. They ain't even the same skin tone. Her hair ain't even the same length. This girl's got hair that goes down to where that crop top starts. This girl's way thicker than that other girl. Way thicker.
Are you driving way less than you used to? Do you have a clean driving record? Are you over 25?
Kendra, she got, well, honestly, you may want to talk to the lady who found her.
This was posted by Fox Nashville, okay? I don't think they're supposed to have their audio on. You can't turn the closed caption on. I've already transcribed it just in the few minutes that I listened to it, okay? This guy right here says, you need to go talk to the lady that found her. Listen, okay, we'll listen to this twice. First time, I just want y'all to watch and see everything that you can see. And then the next time, it don't matter what you do first. The next time, don't do anything but listen. Because I know I can't do both at the same time. Like, if I'm watching something, I got to watch. If I'm listening, I'm listening. But listen to what this guy that's taking the video and he's having a conversation with somebody in the background. Listen to their conversation. And then after that, I'll play it again. And then watch what these people just. This is bad. Bad. This is not even good. Like, acting. This is terrible.
Kendra, she got, well, honestly, you may want to talk to the lady who found her. If you remember who this is. Yeah. If she can go. All right. That guy just like, it's it. Good morning again. Good morning. Never. Did you get video on your phone when you found it?
No, did you? You got that, right?
Oh, yeah, I got it. But I was thinking if you had something for digital. Because this motherfucker's about to be dead in probably 15 minutes. If not sooner.
I don't have a CPU unless it's behind it. I don't know if anyone else needed it. But I can do it. They have her already on the side.
There go the jogger.
Yep. Not a problem. Bye.
You take care. You take care. I almost want the jogger to come back down here. Like, yo, guess what? I'm going to get them driving her off. And I think we're probably good. I'm going to go back and look at this video, though. They're up. Kendra, she got, well, honestly, you may want to talk to the lady who found her. If you remember who this is. Yeah. If she can go. All right.
That guy just like, it's it.
Good morning again.
Good morning. Never.
Did you get video on your phone when they found it?
No, did you? You got that, right?
Oh, yeah, I got it. But I was thinking if you had something for digital. Because this motherfucker's about to be dead in probably 15 minutes. If not sooner.
I don't have a CPU at left behind. I didn't know if anyone else needed it. But I can do it. They have her already on the side.
There go the jogger.
Yep. Not a problem. Bye.
You take care. You take care. I must want the jogger to come back down here. Like, yo, guess what? I'm a kid, then driving her off, and I think we're probably good. I'm gonna go back and look at this video though.
They have the lights.
Yeah.
Rigor mortis presence at partially, okay, is what the way it said, but we'll go on. And the presence of rubbing alcohol. Okay. Now I thought I would be able to find like a logical explanation or some kind of scenario that happened and well, okay, well that made sense. No, there's no logical reason why that is in his bloodstream. Like nothing that I can make sense. Besides he drank it, whether it, it we'll get to it. It's weird. So its cause of death was primary drowning, contributing factor, ethanol intoxication, which is pretty much the way the body breaks it down. It's what turns it into alcohol, but like liquor, not rubbing alcohol. Had a blood alcohol level of 0.228, which is like 3 times the legal limit. But this is also allegedly 2 weeks after he's been in the Cumberland River. So notable observations that he's in partial rigor mortis 2 weeks post-mortem, and there's the presence of rubbing alcohol. That's what this is mostly going to be about, because I can't make it make sense, and it's making me crazy. So now I'm going to pass it on to you guys because I'm so nice. Thank you so much. So rigor mortis and then environmental factors. So standard rigor mortis timeline, based on my research, allegedly, in my opinion, or whatever, Google's opinion, because I just Google shit, commences within a few hours. So that means it starts within a few hours after you die, okay? Then it peaks at 12 to 24 hours, and then it's completely resolved 24 to 72 hours tops. unusual observation in Riley's report is partial rigor mortis present. So that would have to mean if it's partial, that's where it would be at peak. So that's got to be anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. It's not even logical to even say, oh, well, he could still be in partial rigor mortis if he'd been in the water for 2 weeks. Like, no. That's about 10 days too many. I digress, kind of. So, what needs to be reevaluated is the timeline of alleged deaths, the temperature, and the impact analysis, and a forensic pathologist consultation. Well, we've already got that in the autopsy, and that was just about as useless as a. However, there's no timeline. And I looked up the temperature and conditions for the river that day based off of I have to look at the name of the website again. I think I screenshotted it. So this alcohol or ethanol intoxication is known to impair your judgment and coordination. Unexpected finding was the presence of rubbing alcohol and in the toxicology reports, which means it's in the bloodstream. Points of ingestion, possible ingestion or dermal absorption. And then I looked into what that was. Like, so you can either drink it, like either knowingly, unknowingly have it in something else, or just straight up drink it. Like, apparently that's a thing too. Or if you have your skin like soaked in it for a set amount of time, you're like, apparently you'll absorb it into your bloodstream that way, but it would have to be like a prolonged period of time for that to happen, according to my research, allegedly. So it wasn't like, oh, he had his hand in a little whatever of rubbing alcohol, bowl of rubbing alcohol, and that's how it's in his bloodstream. Like, no, not that simple. He'd have to be in like a bathtub full of it, like, soaking in it like it's yeah, whatever. Cheese and rice, Snooks. So key dates are March the 8th, last seen alive around 10 p.m. Then the next morning, the missing persons report was filed by his frat brother, and then he was found on March 22nd. Points of investigation, witness interviews, security footage, and last known sighting. Now, that's up for debate because we get to pick and choose, or not we, they get to pick and choose, they being Metro Nashville, what we get to see as the public, and as even his family at this point. Anything that they've gotten has definitely not been through them as far as videos and stuff. But they have access to all of it. And what I want to know is why we get to see, and now granted, I'll take it for what it is. I'm going to analyze the shit out of it. Don't get me wrong. Thank you so much. But why are we getting like these little nuggets of the at the bar and not but yet still have not seen, which I have proved to myself and all of you several times on several different live streams. There wasn't a time on Riley's journey, route, walk, whatever, that he wasn't on camera. There's no reason why we should wonder what and when and what time and how Riley went into the river, because it is on camera. If it happened the way they said it did and where they said it did, it's on video. So why do we still not see him falling in the water? Because it's bullshit. Granted, he ended up in the water, but not the way they're saying it did. No way. And if so, prove it. than the TABC investigation findings, which were more detailed than the Metro Nashville report. But I don't understand like how they came to their conclusion, but whatever, I guess. It's the Nashville way. Just put a stamp on it and call it done, and heaven forbid, you don't want to, discourage people from going and spending that money. Heaven forbid. So we're going to watch a couple of videos real quick.
Picture this. You're sitting at home alone watching YouTube videos, wondering why you can't find the motivation to do the thing.
We're following a break.
Now, the reason I'm playing this is because pay attention to where this guy got beat in front of, because Topgolf is right where Riley's phone actually pinged at the last time. If you guys remember, there's that cell phone tower right outside of Topgolf, like on the other side of the river, like closer to the Jefferson Bridge, the Jefferson Street Bridge, the train bridge, on the other side of the river. Listen to this shit.
Breaking news alert now. A man is in custody accused of beating another man to death outside Topgolf in Nashville. Allie Lynch is at the WKRN.com alert desk with the details.
Yeah, Nicole, that's right. This all unfolding in the parking lot of Topgolf in Nashville. Police say the victim died this morning from severe head injuries. Officials tell us the victim, 41-year-old Dahal Umesh, was attending a concert in the lower level of the Topgolf venue when a fight broke out in the parking lot. Police say the victim tried to defuse the argument when he was punched, causing him to fall down and hit his head on the concrete. He was then kicked in the head while on the ground. The suspect, 26-year-old Bashar Ray, is accused of kicking him in the head. He was taken into custody and now has been charged with criminal homicide. And of course, for breaking news around the clock, go to WKRN.com.
A family files a wrongful death lawsuit after a Nashville man was shot and killed outside of a Demumbrian Street bar. 33-year-old Patrick Charles was killed outside of the Vibes nightclub last June. Investigators say Charles was kicked out of the bar for arguing with a friend. The two went their separate ways, but suddenly security guards noticed Charles firing shots. The guards then fired at Charles, leading to his death. The lawsuit argues the guards did not warn Charles to drop his weapon. The family has now filed suit against the bar, along with the company that employed those two security guards. We'll have a closer look at the allegations tonight on News 2 Now at 10.
And we're also following new developments in a case where a man is now the primary suspect in a woman's death just days after he bonded out of jail in Nashville. And now the victim's family says Nashville's justice system is to blame. Our Tony Sloan is live outside the Nashville Detention Center with the latest on this case. And Tony, the family's not keeping quiet at all. They are speaking out about this.
Yeah, that's right, Amy. The father of the victim says that the system failed Lauren Johansson and says that if 23-year-old Bryson Rivers was not let out of jail here in Nashville, his daughter would still be alive today. Wednesday, police in Harrison County, Mississippi, says they found her dead inside of a vehicle after her family had reported her missing. Rivers was just let out of jail in Nashville after a case back in December when he and Johansson were visiting. He was arrested by Metro Police and charged with aggravated kidnapping and other charges after records show he allegedly beat her and held her hostage while the two were visiting Nashville. He sat in jail for 7 months. Johansson's father says he warned a Nashville judge that Rivers was too dangerous to be let out of jail.
I think the criminal justice system in Nashville, Tennessee, failed my daughter and our family. The world shouldn't work this way. She had dreams and hopes that were larger than life. And the best quality of about her was that she had a really big heart and would do anything for anyone to help them out. Everything she did, everything she touched turned to gold, except for this guy.
And the family says, unfortunately, they have to go now the holiday weekend without their loved one. The family spokesperson says Johansson and her family were not notified of Rivers' release in Nashville. The spokesperson for the Nashville District Attorney's Office says they opposed the reduced bond that was ordered by the criminal court judge. And they don't have anything to do with bond conditions. Those are imposed by the judge and overseen by Community Corrections. Rivers is now charged with 1 count of homicide and a bail of $1 million.
Ali and
Hi everyone. Allium in the side to the side. By fruit, I'm talking lemons and limes. Okay, sense to me because that's basically making me feel like there's a gambling, there's a marker that's called up, there's something that needs to be defined or paid back. And there's a conversation that ensues. And as I'm looking around the bar, I'm seeing two people behind the bar and I'm seeing them catch a glimpse of these young men. And I get somebody nodding. I do feel like this was a setup. I know you're going to say I always say that, but I really do feel like it was a setup. And this is interesting because it goes all the way back to the University of Missouri and the all the way back to high school before that. And it goes to what these young men picked to do for a living and the groups of people that they spoke with and the men or the male leaders or the mentors that they spoke to help them through the university experience and who was targeted as being a leader in these groups. And if you're targeted, but you're not living up to what it is you found, which this makes sense to me because I don't feel that's how he died. But I do feel he was what we call roofied or GHB'd or ketamine or whatever they call it when they put something in your drink and you are unaware of it. But it's interesting. I don't feel it was in the drink, as in the alcohol. That's too big a risk for us to do that in the alcohol. I feel there was a separate bag behind the bar. And I'm not joking you when I say this. Now, it doesn't have to be a bartender who's doing this. It can be somebody who kind of scopes the area out or a plant that's sent in there or somebody who's just a horrible person who does this, but there is a bag of ice cubes that I'm seeing, and these are frozen ice cubes. There's also a bag of fruit put off to the side. By fruit, I'm talking lemons and limes, okay? And in particular, lemons and limes, both, not the yellow and the green. I'm seeing a bag full of this off in the corner. Now, what if I soaked the fruit in something that was toxic? So what if the fruit absorbs the roofie drug or whichever drug was used, and I put the fruit in your drink? How do you respond to that? And Riley was pretty strong. He was strong, and he was also physically rather tall and large. So if they only served him one drink and two waters, highly unlikely he's drunk. I mean, he's over 6 feet tall. If he was 5'4", 5'6", 5'7", that's possible. But when you're super duper tall, it takes longer for your system to be affected by things. They say that it's by weight and height. When you're a certain height and a weight, they tell you basically how many drinks you can have an hour in order to be able to drive. So Riley was super tall, and I doubt he drank like 6-7 drinks that it would take to make him feel off kilter. I do feel, though, that something was put into his drink, either through an ice cube or a piece of fruit. That sounds really bizarre. And then I'm hearing there are legions of them. As Riley is walking down, there are 2 different people that use the smiley face symbol. Now, why not inhabited? They look like us. They literally bots are easily inhabitable. They ponder this question, because this is my first video on this, but I want you to ponder the question. What if we have a serial killer hidden in plain sight as an entertainer that travels all over the world? A public figure, of mass public figure. And this person.
Okay, now I don't believe all that. However, I do believe there's somebody that takes opportunities, or somebody's, maybe a group of people, and I think they take advantage of concerts, sporting events, music festivals that are coming into major cities like Austin, Nashville, couple of them in New York. But when there's big events that are planned months and months in advance, and you can see the tickets are selling out and the stadium is this big, so there's going to be this amount of people, and they're this proximity from where the bars and the restaurants are going to be at, so they're going to be there drunk and ready to spend money. Okay, well, some people take that as an opportunity, and they wait and they pray and they see who's by themselves or who's easily manipulated, who gets separated and maybe thrown out of the bar by themselves and not with their friend. That happens in all of these. Okay, look how many people have come up dead in Lady Bird Lake. Okay, do your research on that and tell me there's not something fucking going on that is bigger than we can grasp. Nashville is just a small piece of the pie, but I've been looking into this probably since about March, and I mean the broader scheme of it, and where it trickles out, and how it's only this men in these circumstances, in these bars, that are leaving these bars, and they get separated from who they're with, and they get found in the river, and the police close it. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, no foul play suspected. But there's weird like cleaning of the body, and and they weren't in the water as long as they're supposed to say they were in the water, as because they were preserved very well, like they were kept on like in refrigeration or something, or they were not dead that long. That's the only thing that could explain these weird, bizarre things that happen in all of these cases. And it's been happening since the 90s. And that's just as far back as my research goes. I'm sure there's more cases that are less documented because they kept records different back then. But I'm saying as far back as I've seen, like the case file, the autopsies, the whole 9 yards, like the early 90s. And it's not just like, a cluster of states. It's from one side of the United States to the other. There would be a shorter list if I told you states that were not affected by it, because it's far and wide. There's no way that's just one person. It sounds like she just said, legions of people. Okay, and if you think about it, is it really far-fetched? Because I've gotten deep down this rabbit hole, I guess, if that's what we're going to call it. And if you think about the day and age that we live in with all the social media and all the black market things everything that you can do on the black market, like, is it far-fetched to say that it's possible, even a little bit, that there is people that talk on Snapchat or something, one of these apps that it's encrypted and it deletes after you're done, and WhatsApp, whatever. There's a couple other ones that I'm not thinking of. Anyways, and they communicate that way. They have people go in and live stream the inside of these establishments, and y'all already know how I feel about that one that we stumbled upon. That was some weird shit, okay? But they are in there, and who's to say that these people that have nefarious purposes aren't in the live chat watching or directing, hey, this is, and then they go and all of a sudden this person gets thrown out of the bar by themselves for no reason, and let me slip you a 20 or a 40 or $100 bill when this is all said and done to the bouncer or whoever, because usually it's the bouncer that throws them out. And listen, these bars that are owned by this shady ass company that owns these Nashville bars, there's all these like reports on Yelp, or reviews I should call them, on Yelp and stuff, where they're all like, the bouncers are shady and the bartenders are in on it. The bouncers are aggressive and the bartenders are in on it. So like, I'm not crazy, and this is not coming out of left field. Like, so allegedly, hypothetically, who's to say that there's not this big, I won't say legion, I'll just say crime ring, that I don't necessarily think that they seek out to unalive somebody, but if you're roofing people and robbing them, who's to say that you don't know how much that they've already had, and whatever you give them pushes them over the edge and they die consequently? Well, that's still murder in my definition, but who am I? That it's not like they would have died if they would not have been in the wrath of whatever the fuck this is going on here. And the fact that Nashville has really all the police departments, Lady Bird Lake, all of them, they're quick to close the case because they don't want people to be deterred from coming and partying in the bars. But yeah, they're not doing their due diligence to warn you that you're not safe when you do so. They should have signs up in the bathrooms. Hey, warning. I mean, if you go look at some of these live streams that people are doing in New York, there's like big old signs like on, the trucks that have signs and stuff parked all along the strip that says, warning, beware beware of pickpocketers. Like, Nashville's not doing shit to try to warn you or deter you at all. They want you to come there and be a damn easy target, apparently.
I am running to be president of the United States, and I need you with me in this fight. So I am asking you.
Tracker alert tonight. 2 shooting incidents in downtown Nashville within a matter of days, causing concern for tourists and residents of Music City. News 2's Stephanie Langston spoke to Metro Police and the District 19 councilman, who's taking a closer look at what's being done to address the rise in crime downtown.
Well, those shootings happening on the popular pedestrian street bridge that you see here behind me. While one seems to be an isolated dispute between 2 people, the other appears to be an attempted robbery that turned deadly with claims of self-defense. The latest shooting incidents adding to already troubling statistics of violent crime in downtown Nashville. Metro Police statistics showing 3 times the number of calls for service for shots.
Are you serious? What's the name of this company?
Nashville.
Good evening, everyone. New tonight, police need your help locating a woman who they say is targeting a certain group of people on Lower Broadway.
And police say this woman has gotten away with money, credit cards, and iPhones. WSMV's Danielle Jackson joins us live from downtown. And
Imagine that. What did they not find on Riley? Wallet, cash, iPhone? Wow.
DJ, what more do you know about her?
Tracy and Marius, police believe this woman is targeting men right here on Lower Broadway. They say she uses herself as a guide to pretend she's something she's not and then gets away with their valuables. There's always a bustling scene on the crowded streets of Broadway.
Broadway's like, it's kind of the Wild West out here.
And amongst the crowds are some people looking to take advantage. Police are searching for this woman, Teresa Lynn King, who they say is targeting men. On July 13th, around 11:30 at night, police say King approached a man in his 20s under the guise of wanting his Snapchat information, but ended up taking his phone and transferring $400 from one of his accounts. And just 4 days before that incident on Broadway, police say King pretended to be a rideshare driver, took another male in his 20s home, and when the victim was getting out of the vehicle, that's when King took his phone and wallet. Some men I talked to on Broadway,
Everybody is trying to get their quick hustle on.
say they're not surprised someone would scheme just to make a quick buck.
If you actually have a Lyft app or an Uber app, always verify that the driver that shows up, verify their license plate, most importantly, verify their actual picture, their strength in numbers. So if you're in groups of large people, stay together because everybody's trying to find an easy opportunity with this being a tourist attraction.
Around 10 o'clock on April 23rd, police say one of those male victims was at a bar here on Broadway. The next day, he realized his iPhone and credit cards were gone. At a Walmart, his bank card had been used without his permission, and police say video surveillance shows King using it, purchasing more than $800 of merchandise and gift cards.
There's always a bunch of drunk people and people kind of, I don't know, people being vulnerable enough to be able to get scammed. So I think people have to be smart when they're out here and just know, like, not everything out here is bad. Don't just come out and be scared. But there definitely are people out here that are trying to take advantage of people.
Now, police are encouraging folks to contact Crime Stoppers if they know where she is. You can do so on that number below on the screen at 615-7.
Larry, check this out. With On Deck, we can get a small business loan fast and start hiring more help right away.
Or Loan Cannon!
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. On Deck, the online lender that makes it easy to choose your loan and if approved, get funds as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck.
He's been accused of hiring unlicensed security guards, some of whom presented themselves as police in downtown Nashville. Good evening, everyone. I'm Carrie Sharp.
And I'm Rory Johnston. Well, now the man running one of Nashville's biggest security companies says he's making changes after News Channel 5 investigates questioned exemptions he used, apparently to get around Tennessee law.
News Channel 5 investigates reporter Levi Ismail spoke with Jack Bird of Solarian Risk Management in an interview you will only see here.
Bird still believes that because you're on a police roster, you should be able to wear police working security anywhere in the state. But that's not how the law sees it.
You've seen them sitting outside bars and even patrolling downtown Nashville. But can you tell which one of these people, armed with a badge and a gun, is a certified police officer? Neither can we.
I would estimate 50 to 60% of folks that work in this industry are wearing something like this or like that. And that's a problem because there's no accountability. It doesn't say who you are. It doesn't say where you're from. It says nothing.
Jack Bird III runs the private security company Solarian Risk Management. The same Bird now arguing against claims that he's hired unlicensed security guards to patrol downtown Nashville.
This is our company patch. That's our security patch. That's our police badge.
There's hardly much of a difference between the two, but Byrd believes this is what sets his team apart from those only posing as police.
That is a crime. Absolutely a crime.
Let me clarify, what is a crime?
So criminal impersonation.
Okay.
That is absolutely. But here's the problem we've had with it. No one prosecutes it.
When this picture was taken last year, Byrd was not a certified officer in Tennessee, even though he was a reserve with the Millersville Police Department. That status alone is why he believed he was exempt from Tennessee law, which says security can't wear anything that makes them appear to be police. He also believed this meant that he and some of his employees were exempt from having to get an armed security guard license. Are you wearing police on your person when you are working downtown Nashville?
Absolutely.
Okay. And can you see how that might be confusing for someone who might think that you are Nashville police?
Absolutely. I understand the question, but there's also another attorney general's opinion that says you can come from out of your jurisdiction and work in another jurisdiction and still wear police.
Byrd handed us multiple attorney general opinions.
I'm going to give you a copy.
But even these opinions agree with Tennessee law that yes, only full-time sworn police officers are exempted from obtaining an armed security guard's license. The same goes for wearing police. To be a full-time sworn police officer in Tennessee, you have to be certified, which means you've done all the training and gone through the academy. Byrd has done neither of those things.
If you're referencing myself, no, I rely solely on an armed guard license at this point. I'm not actively commissioned.
Byrd has since left Millersville, so he says he no longer wears police while working security jobs. But what about everyone else working for him? Byrd's company signed a deal with the Nashville District Management Corporation, also known as the Downtown Partnership, to offer extra security in downtown Nashville. The man on the left is Millersville Assistant Police Chief Glenn Allred, also working for Solaren, and as News Channel 5 Investigates discovered in March, also not a certified police officer.
Every one of our staff members that are working should have an unarmed or armed guard license.
Should have.
To my knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, they do have. I would be very interested to hear otherwise.
Meet Bethany Catchings. She's the security guard you see in this video working for Solaren at a downtown bar, even though she's never been licensed in Tennessee. Solaren was sued over this altercation at the bar and for another incident a year earlier when they had Catchings working security at a Whole Foods.
Very concerning, very concerning.
We showed Representative Bill Beck of Nashville the photo of Byrd and Allred working security in Nashville while identifying themselves as police officers.
They're carrying a gun that could take a person's life at any time. We're relying on them as the general public and as patrons of these establishments to make sure that we are protected.
Beck is very familiar with security guards, having sponsored a bill last year that required these guards at local bars to be trained in de-escalation, CPR, and first aid. Full-time sworn police officers are exempt because they likely already have this training, but Beck says it's frustrating to hear anyone ignore the rules and make their own exemptions.
There needs to be some differential because these people have no responsibility, or they may not even have the training to protect me and others as they're going up and down Broadway.
Byrd says he believes that someone who is restricted to only working part-time supervised hours in Millersville can travel to Nashville where they can work countless unsupervised hours. Still, he thinks the laws could be written a little more clearly.
There are many of us in that industry that are calling for accountability, that have asked for help, that have asked for guidance, and we haven't gotten that.
The Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance, those responsible for regulating law enforcement and security guards, say they're investigating several complaints related to alleged unlicensed activity. In the meantime, they say they run regular compliance checks on security guards. Still, none of these guards are required to notify the state that they have an exemption before they work these streets, which means unless one of the few state inspectors is there to verify credentials, you might be left wondering on your own if the person you ask for help is who they say they are. Byrd says until the laws change, he will now require all of those working security for him to have security guards licenses. As for wearing police, he says he's not making changes to their policy just yet because he believes these officers should still carry the same law enforcement powers in between jurisdictions. If you do notice someone wearing police who you suspect may not be, you can contact the state's Private Protective Services Division and file a complaint. We'll leave a link on this story at newschannel5.com. With News Channel 5 Investigates, I'm Levi Ismail.
Thank you, Levi.
Oh, why aren't they texting me back? Are they mad at me? Do they not like me anymore? I'm scared to ask for reassurance.
We begin tonight with Metro's Violent Crimes Unit trying to find the people inside this car. Police say one of them shot a parking attendant on Broadway while a little girl was in the passenger seat. Welcome to News 2 at 10. I'm Bob Mueller. Metro Police got the call to 5th and Broadway around 11 o'clock last night. Surveillance video caught what appears to be a fight over a parking fee. News 2's Allie Lynch reports this shooting is part of a spike in violence in downtown Nashville.
The driver of his red Chevrolet Equinox pulls up to the gate and, according to police, tries to avoid the fee. That's when you see the gate open and a passenger shoot the parking attendant, who hobbles away. The 35-year-old victim makes his way around the corner to the Ray-Ban store on Broadway, where Metro Police found him.
It's pretty horrifying and distasteful in every way.
Michael Boyd lives a few floors above the shooting at the Place apartment.
I'm a convicted felon, and I know what impersonating a police officer is.
Yeah, that's a felon coming forward tonight saying she was allowed to wear badges and vests identifying herself as police.
Yeah, she says the security company that allowed it is the same company accused of putting imposter police officers on the streets of Nashville. Our chief investigative reporter, Jeremy Finley, continues to uncover new developments in his thin, blurred line investigation.
Yeah, Jeremy, everything you found, gosh, this might be the most astonishing.
Yeah, it might be, Lauren. The convicted felon you're about to hear from came to us after seeing our investigations into people who are not state certified law enforcement, but are still wearing law enforcement identification. Some of them have been arrested for impersonating police officers, something this felon worried she too could be arrested for as well.
Nina Beckman knew she was taking a risk working as a security guard for the company Solaren.
Just to clarify, you're a convicted felon.
Yes,
And you made that clear to them.
yes, they knew.
Her criminal history includes felonies, her mugshot easily found. Look at the state law. Felons aren't allowed to be security guards until 5 years after their sentence ends. Beckman's sentence ended in 2018. But if you read her work orders with Solaren, they show 2021. In addition to that, the state requires you must have a license to be a security guard.
I've never in my life had a security license.
Why would they even risk putting someone with your criminal history in a job like that?
I think that he just wanted people to fill his contracts. He wanted the money. He wanted the money just like I wanted the money.
He is Jack Berg, the owner of Solaren Risk Management, a security company working throughout downtown Nashville and the Opry Mills Mall. The same company revealed in a series of WSMV4 investigations for employing people who are not state certified law enforcement. But we found them still wearing police identification. Some of them even arrested or are under investigation for impersonating police officers. Beckman says she too was allowed to wear police badges and vests.
Be it a badge that said police across the front or a brass silver badge.
Did you think this seems wrong?
Oh, yeah, I knew it was. I'm a convicted felon, and I know what impersonating a police officer is.
She says when she wore the identification as an off-duty police officer, the vests and badges were given to her at events and then taken away.
If someone had been in a real emergency
Oh, yeah.
and they came to you seeking help, would you have been able to help
Well,
them?
I would have dialed 911 with my phone. I couldn't pick up a radio and say, hey, this is officer such and such. Come get this person that's hurt.
Beckman says after seeing our investigations, she wanted to come forward to show that if a felon can look like a police officer, anyone can.
I didn't understand how we were getting away with it. But it was good money. I hope I don't go to jail after this interview.
Beckman says she has to keep a good sense of humor about it, seeing how the other employees were arrested or are under investigation. She says she never carried a weapon while working security and eventually was let go after being injured on the job. Excuse me, a spokeswoman for Solaren emailed in the last few hours denying that Beckman ever worked security for the company, writing that Solaren is proud to state that it is a second chance employer and engages returning citizens only when they are qualified to work in specifically designated positions. Maurice?
Well, Jeremy, so does Solaren say they did not know she was working security?
Well, they did, and they said that she did it without their knowledge. That doesn't quite explain, though, how she had the uniform. I want you to look at this. This is one of Soleran's own work orders, and you can clearly read there by customer signature, it reads security, no signature. We'll keep asking the company how it is that all this keeps happening under their watch. Marius?
It's a huge issue, and you are digging for the truth. Jeremy, thank you.
Are you driving way less than you used to? Do you have a clean driving record? Are you over 20?
Knock, knock. Hi there. I'd love to show you what a K-12 powered school is.
Two insiders of a Middle Tennessee security company are coming forward tonight saying you're being deceived about who is and who isn't a certified police officer in Nashville.
Now, certified means someone has a license to be a police officer in the state.
Yeah, Chief Investigative Reporter Jeremy Finley first exposed men without certification, identifying themselves as police. And Jeremy, you've now found that they all worked at different times for the same company.
Yeah, that's right. A security company with a contract to provide security at a popular shopping destination and hired by the Nashville Downtown Partnership, a security company that two former employees say is deceiving the public and businesses. It is the latest tonight in our thin, blurred line investigation.
Guns, a bulletproof vest, a hat, and shirt reading police. It's what Lebanon police say Tyler Shawver was wearing when he was arrested on March 15th, 2020, charged with impersonating a police officer.
Police are looking for people who may have been pulled over by this guy.
WSMV4 reported on Shawver in March 2020. Listen.
They say he was caught on camera going around town in a white Dodge pickup, pulling people over. He had blue lights.
A complaint filed with the state reads Shawver was apprehended wearing a police-type uniform. According to multiple sources, that patch on Shawver's police shirt reads Police Off-Duty, Soleran Risk Management. State records show at the time of his arrest, he was employed with Soleran. And Shawver's not the only former or current Soleran employee. Take a look. Nick Jordan, not certified law enforcement, convicted in 2021 of impersonating a police officer. But WSMV4 investigates, captured him wearing a police patch at the Opry Mills Mall just 2 weeks ago, working security for Soleran. And Chris Tubbs, not certified by the state, under investigation for impersonating a police officer, but showing himself on social media wearing police identification. Look closely. There's a Soleran patch.
They're impersonating police officers.
WSMV4 investigates, spoke to not just one,
Nobody is doing anything about it,
but two former Soleran employees.
Why did you agree to talk about this?
Right and wrong.
Comes down to that.
It's all about that.
Both say Soleran does hire certified officers like themselves for off-duty security, but they say the company also hires people who are not certified officers and allows them to wear police identification.
I think somebody better get a handle on that company pretty quick.
What's the concern for the average guy out there about this?
If you are downtown or anywhere and you need help and you see someone in a police uniform, you automatically think this guy or this girl is trained, they're going to give me the appropriate care, they're going to help me, and many of these people just don't have the tools to do that.
Along with working the mall, WSMV4 investigates documented Soleran employees not certified, but wearing police identification working downtown. In fact, Soleran is contracted with an LLC created by the Nashville Downtown Partnership to provide additional security and protective services. It's signed by Soleran's Chief Executive Officer, Jack Bird. According to the state, Jack Bird is not a certified police officer either. But WSMV4 investigates obtained this photo of Bird wearing a police vest. On Facebook, he posts pictures of himself identifying as police. David Rabin, a top law enforcement attorney, tells WSMV4 investigates that only certified police officers should wear police identification while working off-duty jobs.
You cannot have a person who's not post-certified come into Nashville and wear police on their chest and dress up like they're a real police officer.
If you have no affiliation to law enforcement, you have no business wearing police on your shirt.
In these emails, you can see Bird agreed to an interview with WSMV4 investigates, but then backed out. Among our questions for Bird, why allow this? These former employees say they know why. Security companies can charge more to clients if they advertise using off-duty certified police. But in these cases, Former employees say Solarian security looked like police, but were something else.
It's sickening that people are allowed to come and just slap it on and reap the benefits that police officers who actually worked for that title are getting. It's terrible.
All right, well, Jack Bird did back out of our interview. He and his attorney have sent emails to me. In those emails, the attorney wrote, quote, Solarian denies ever violating the Private Protective Services Licensing and Regulatory Act by employing off-duty officers in positions for which they were not qualified. The attorney also denies that the company ever knowingly allowed its off-duty officers to wear police insignia in violation of that act. Now, Jack Bird wrote that they are still investigating what we've reported so far, and that Bird has been advised against making comments about former staff. Also, a few hours ago, I received an email from the Nashville Downtown Partnership, and they confirm they found out about this. Quote, in early March 2023, we learned some personnel assigned to our contract area were not active duty law enforcement personnel. We immediately required corrective action by the provider, Solarian in this case, to no longer assign any individual who is not on active duty to the Tennessee Highway Patrol or other off-duty police personnel. I also do want to point out that I did speak with Tyler Shaver by phone. He had no comment, but did confirm that criminal charge was expunged and is no longer on his record. Got a lot of more reporting to do. We will keep you posted. Marius?
I'm sure you will. Great reporting there, Jeremy. Thank you.
CookUnity is a direct-to-chef marketplace. Choose from hundreds of weekly menu items. CookUnity.
Feel your police department is following the law.
Those resignations confirmed. Ask a question about a series of photos. Jerry, what do these photos have to do with this police department?
Well, Marius, you're about to see them for yourself. The mayor says these photos show not only an inappropriate use of a Millersville police car, but a potentially dangerous situation with a pistol left unsecured in the car's front seat. This photo was the final straw for Millersville Mayor Tommy Long.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
A Millersville unmarked police car parked in a garage in downtown Nashville with a boot on it. A fine reading the parking fee wasn't paid. But look closely. In the front seat, you can see the handle of a pistol. A car, the mayor says, that had no reason to be in Nashville. A taxpayer-funded car, he says, driven by Assistant Police Chief Glenn Allred.
He takes the vehicle and uses it as a personal vehicle.
But we noticed something when we came here to Millersville Police. This is where the police chief parks, and this is the vehicle that's parked here. And you might notice this is the same license plate as the car that was booted in downtown Nashville.
As soon as I can, call you back.
So we called Police Chief Melvin Brown, and when he didn't answer, went inside the police department. That's when a lieutenant came out to talk to us, and I asked him about whose car this is. Listen.
Is that your car?
No, that's the assistant chief's car.
As we continued to wait for the chief, city manager Scott Avery walked out and said no one would be talking to us.
But I have several questions, and among them, why this police vehicle had a boot on it in downtown Nashville. Do you know why that happened?
I've already told you, we're not going to give you an interview. You can keep asking the questions. We have nothing to hide. Put it in writing.
A few hours after we left Millersville, the resignations of the police chief and assistant chief were confirmed. Allred's resignation letter reading in part, "The reason for my resignation is the ongoing and relentless harassment through false allegations directed at myself, the chief of police, the city manager, and our officers."
You know, if you're not in compliance, you're not in compliance.
The resignations come as the Post Commission, which oversees police officers in the state, heard from their own investigator last week that both Allred and Brown continue to work full-time as police officers, even though neither are state-certified police. When Post first learned they were uncertified earlier this year, they ordered both men to work part-time until they could earn certification. Upon hearing from their investigator that both were still working full-time,
If the district attorney general's watching, these are illegal actions. And when a district attorney general doesn't take action, unfortunately, like in many other states, the governor of the state has to take action, or the state attorney general.
we asked the city manager to confirm how often the two have been working.
I am simply asking to find out whether the police chief and the assistant chief are working full-time.
Put it in writing. You can do it on your phone to my email address. My card's right there.
Answers the mayor of the town wants as well.
You're the mayor. What do you do?
We probably need to go higher because it's like me knocking my head against the wall. I'm not getting any results.
All right, so you heard the city manager just then ask me that I put questions in writing, so I did, and here are his responses. Question, I asked for details about the booted police vehicle with that unsecured pistol. He said he'd ask the chief and get back to me, but that it had nothing to do with their resignations, that they actually resigned earlier that week. Question, have both the chief and the assistant chief been working full-time? He said the assistant chief has been working part-time, and that the chief had been on full-time but on light duty for a shoulder injury and has not conducted law enforcement duties for the last several months. You can see the resignation letters and how this all links to our thin blurred line investigation right now on our app. Marius.
Well, Jeremy, the mayor said he hasn't gotten answers, but rest assured you will.
We will.
Jeremy, thank you.
$10 can help.
Two insiders of a Middle Tennessee
Texas is the first state in the country to make buying sex a felony. It's a crime that can be easy to miss.
Two insiders of a Middle Tennessee security company are coming forward tonight saying you're being deceived about who is and who isn't a certified police officer in Nashville.
Now, certified means someone has a license to be a police officer.
New at 6, an Action News 5 investigation reveals dozens of troubled cops whose own employers say they are not fit to serve are still able to police. Their badges protected in part by a backlog at the state agency responsible for deciding their fate. Action News 5 investigator Jessica Jaglois has the story.
Colin Berryhill is here.
It took mere seconds for this group of mostly former and current Tennessee law enforcement officers to decide former Memphis police officer Colin Berryhill can keep his police certification.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? No action.
The inaction came from the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, or POST, the state's ultimate law enforcement oversight agency. POST hears cases of police misconduct nearly every month, conduct so troubling the officer's own employer has asked POST to decertify them, so they're no longer able to police in Tennessee. Memphis police asked the state to decertify Berryhill after he violated the department's excessive force policy 3 times with his taser. But by the time POST considered decertifying Berryhill, MPD said too much time had passed and withdrew their request. An Action News 5 investigation reveals roughly 270 police officers have faced decertification in Tennessee since 2019. Nearly half those officers were able to keep their certifications, most of them while their hearings were delayed.
Those delays are concerning and seem pretty unique as well.
Lauren Bonds is with the National Police Accountability Project. She says Tennessee has more decertification hearings than other states and more delays.
So those delays we've seen have actually helped in the cases of some officers that might be troubled, like Colin Berryhill. When it comes to those continuances and those delays, does that worry you?
It's been an issue that we have looked into and why it's taking so long.
State Senator Ed Jackson has been a member of the Post Commission for 5 years.
There's so many that it's hard for us to get to, and they're just 14 members, and we have to meet. Well, we're going to start meeting probably in different grand divisions of the state, which now we're in Donaldson, there in Nashville. We'll probably come to Jackson or to Memphis, or we may go to Knoxville or to Upper East Tennessee for some of these decertification hearings.
But there's no time limit for when an officer has to have a hearing, and there's currently a backlog of nearly 40 officers waiting for formal decertification hearings. Our investigation also found Post dismissed dozens of cases after an officer or their attorney defended their actions, like former Memphis police officer Elijah Presley, who, along with his partner, were referred to decertification after MPD found he used excessive force while arresting a woman who called police for help and fractured her arm in the process.
It's a shame we've lost him in the state of Tennessee, but it sounds to me like a routine arrest was where they had to go in and arrest somebody, and unfortunately accidents happen and people get scuffed and marked up.
Presley resigned during his internal investigation and is now policing for the Oklahoma Highway Patrol.
This isn't a model that I think is going to work and protect people from police violence and other types of police misconduct.
We did find the majority of officers are decertified, most getting there by default, meaning they never showed up to their hearings.
You've been there 5 years. How effective do you think the Post Commission is?
Post Commission is very effective, and they make adjustments.
Where the Post Commission hearings are held may soon be adjusted, but other adjustments to Post are currently not on the table. For the investigators, I'm Jessica Jaglois.
The investigators take an even deeper dive into delays at the Post Commission online. Look for Jessica's story under the Special Reports tab at actionnews5.com.
Restaurant store.
Senseless, that's the word that those closest to State Trooper Adam Cothran are using tonight. It's been almost a week now since he was shot during a traffic stop on the interstate. He's still recovering in the hospital, but even though he's sidelined, he hasn't stopped working. News 2's My Owen sat down with his brother as the two work to make meaningful change.
I got a phone call from my mom. Yeah.
It's a call Grant Cawthron can't forget, but when he says caught him by surprise.
That call's to be expected sometimes, but you never truly expect it to be your brother, your family.
Almost a week ago, his brother, Trooper Adam Cawthron, was conducting a traffic stop on I-40 in Putnam County when shots were fired from the car he pulled over. Trooper Cawthron was hit, and a manhunt for the shooters who sped away began.
To have an ending like this on a simple traffic citation, it's senseless.
A senseless crime that would lead to days of searching from law enforcement across Tennessee and even over state lines. This week, both suspects, 29-year-old Braze Rucker and 25-year-old Timothy Davis Jr., taken into custody. But questions still remain.
After this happened, having some conversations with Adam bedside, the biggest question that we want to raise is, why are these guys out?
According to Metro Police, Rucker was convicted back in 2016 on a second-degree murder charge and sentenced to 11 years in prison. After that, in 2017, he was convicted of aggravated assault and aggravated robbery and sentenced to 14 years in prison. So why was he out and given the opportunity to commit another crime?
What happened? Where did this fail that we have these guys that are allowed to be out on the street to do this kind of stuff to our law enforcement officers?
This month, a new law went into effect, the Back the Blue Act, making it a felony to assault a police officer and increasing the minimum sentence from 30 days to 60. But Grant wants to see more done.
This has gone on too long. There's news articles out there every day that there's somebody that's fallen victim to something that happened. Somebody dropped the ball, somebody let somebody out, some legislation failed. And it's my mission to look to change that, to make it stronger.
Not just to protect law enforcement, but also everyday residents who come face to face with repeat violent offenders.
Evil is out there, and it doesn't matter how safe you are, it's going to happen to somebody. And what we're trying to prevent is from it happening to anybody else.
And Grant has been by his brother's side since he was sent to the hospital. He says Adam is doing well. But in the meantime, Grant hopes to start more conversations about the dangers of repeat offenders.
Do you know the U.S. solar company's nasty little secret? It turns out if you live in Florida, they have to get
Now with breaking news. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
We have just received a letter from him resigning immediately, and we accepted it. All right, thank you.
And with that, House Speaker Cameron Sexton announces the resignation of a member of his Republican leadership team just hours after News Channel 5 Investigates exposed a sexual harassment scandal involving that lawmaker. Hello, everyone. I'm Carrie Sharp.
And I'm Vicki Yates. Representative Scotty Campbell was among those who recently voted to expel the Tennessee Three, but it turns out Campbell and the GOP had their own secrets.
As our Phil Williams discovered, Campbell had quietly been found guilty of sexually harassing legislative interns, but nothing had happened, Phil, until today.
That's right. We discovered that the East Tennessee Republican had been found guilty in that secret process of sexually harassing the college interns, accused of some extremely vulgar behavior. But Campbell didn't lose his leadership post in the Republican caucus nor his committee seats. That all changed within hours after we confronted him this morning. Hey, Representative Campbell, how are you, sir? We wanted to give the East Tennessee Republican a chance to respond to the findings of our latest investigation of Tennessee's Capitol Hill.
As I understand, you admitted to sexually harassing this intern?
Give me just 5 seconds. Okay.
In fact, Scotty Campbell already knew we were investigating some serious allegations.
Hold on just a second.
About his relationship with at least one legislative intern, although he would soon divulge there was a second intern.
Safety concerns in downtown Nashville after another tourist falls into the Cumberland River. This morning, that woman was found safe after an hours-long search. News 2 was live on the air when she crawled out from the river.
Just happening right now, I'm overhearing some officers saying they found her. So all of these officers are walking to the riverfront underneath the bridge here.
Today's incident comes 4 months after Riley Strain's body was recovered from the Cumberland River, and safety issues are still not resolved. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry spoke with a Metro Council member about how the city is working to secure the riverfront.
This morning, for nearly 7 hours, Metro Police searched for missing 33-year-old Alexandra Schimmel, who was visiting from New Jersey. She reportedly got separated from her friends along Broadway before 2 in the morning and was reported missing around 3. Around 9 this morning, Schimmel was spotted live on News 2 after climbing up from the riverbank.
We all know that the river moves really fast and has a strong current. It's a miracle she was able to pull herself out.
Metro Police told News 2, similar to the search for Riley Strain, surveillance footage helped police rule out foul play and determine her travel direction.
A lot of those cameras were instrumental in showing that there was no crime that occurred and give us a better idea of their behavior and demeanor up to the point that we lose sight of them.
Riley Strain's body was recovered nearly 4 months ago after he disappeared following a night of drinks on Broadway. Since his disappearance and recovery, there has been an emphasis on safety issues around the Cumberland River in downtown Nashville.
People that are not from the area, they don't live near a river, they don't understand the power of a river. It's very hard, especially if somebody's either having some kind of medical episode, under the influence of alcohol or some other substance.
Broadway sits just along the Cumberland River. So when people find themselves on the pedestrian bridge or along a sidewalk next to a steep embankment, city leaders say that's when lives are at risk.
We're not going to block access to the river. This is not a river access. This is a cliffside. And so anybody that's walking along there, I think there's maybe some inherent risk.
District 19 Councilmember Jacob Coupin says the plan is to install fencing along the cliffside areas of the Cumberland River. But while they're waiting for funding, a nonprofit called Red Frogs USA has been helping Nashvillians get home safe after events like CMA Fest and the 4th of July. Coupin says he plans to make them a permanent feature on Broadway. But regarding a short-term fix in securing the cliffside, Coupin says he's still working on it.
I've got calls out to folks in the mayor's office, from parks, from NDOT, just to kind of understand what we can do in the short term. I don't have an exact answer on what that looks like yet.
For now, Coupin says the ideal goal is to make sure everyone gets home safe. In Nashville, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
Hi, I'm Adam, and I made an appointment with Lifeline Screening to get my arteries examined for plaque buildup, so I can understand my risk for stroke and cardiovascular disease. Yeah, I'm a smart guy.
Moreland spent more than 3.5 years in federal prison for what prosecutors called one of the most shocking cases of misconduct by a public official this district has ever seen.
Investigative reporter Ben Hall takes us inside the case from start to finish.
The former Nashville judge will be released from federal custody on Saturday. The 64-year-old is already back in Nashville as part of a residential reentry program. Things began to unravel for Judge Moreland after Metro Police investigated the death of a 34-year-old woman.
I'm investigating the death of Lee Terry.
Lee Terry was found with a gunshot wound to her head in her downtown apartment back in May of 2016. Police ruled her death a suicide.
You can sit wherever you want. You can sit. Yeah.
Interviews as part of that investigation revealed that days before Terry died, she had been on a trip to the Alabama Gulf Coast with Judge Moreland and defense attorney Brian Lewis. Another lawyer and 2 other women also accompanied them on the trip. Terry and the other 2 women had all appeared in Moreland's court as defendants in the past.
She told me right then that she had sex with Casey Moreland in the chambers, okay? And that was what kept her out of jail. And she said, I feel nasty.
A former boyfriend of Terry told police that she discussed sleeping with Judge Moreland to get out of a past DUI. Police also questioned another woman, Natalie Amos. She had gone on that Gulf Coast trip. She admitted to having a relationship with Moreland.
I know you don't want to mention somebody, but
If you need
I just need to know who we're talking about. Just
Casey Moore.
Okay.
Thousands of texts between Moreland and Amos obtained by News Channel 5 Investigates showed Moreland was willing to use his influence to get Amos out of trouble. In 2018, the FBI opened an investigation into whether Moreland traded favors in his courtroom for sex. That same year, an informant working for the FBI went to Moreland's home with a hidden camera. The informant told Moreland he'd talked to an officer willing to plant drugs on Natalie Amos to discredit her.
What's he want?
Oh, he didn't say anything. He didn't just. I think his thing is like, as long as it don't come back to him. And I said, don't worry about that. And
Is he gonna be the one to pull her over?
He'll be, but he'll be the one to pull her over. But he's just said, his main thing was like, as long as it don't come back to me.
Days after that video, the FBI arrested Moreland at his home.
In order to safeguard the citizens of this community and to protect the integrity of this investigation, it became necessary to obtain a warrant for the arrest of Judge Moreland.
He was charged with obstruction of justice, but later a new tape from a former employee with Moreland revealed he had stolen cash from the drug court foundation he founded. He eventually pled guilty to witness tampering, theft, and obstruction. Judge Waverly Crenshaw said he wanted the 3.5-year sentence to be an example to others in positions of authority. Moreland remains on probation for 3 years. One of his attorneys tells us he plans to get a job outside the legal profession and stay out of the public eye. Ben Hall, News Channel 5, investigates.
Ever walked down a street and felt a twinge of fear? In a world where danger can be anywhere, how do you ensure your safety and peace of mind? Well, we're hosting a 100% free event on using non-lethal tools.
You can take new training to protect your family from an animal tranquilizer that's being now mixed into illegal drugs here in Tennessee. Thank you for joining us for News 2 at 4. I'm Mark Kelly. It's called xylazine. It's better known as Tranq, and it doesn't respond to the overdose reversing drug naloxone. State Capitol reporter Tori Gessner explains the efforts to curb this problem.
Images from across the country show the consequences an animal tranquilizer has on humans. The drug is called xylazine, dubbed Tranq, or the drug of the living dead.
It's a veterinary tranquilizer, and it has some very serious side effects in humans,
including open sores on the body, which can lead to gangrene and amputation. Since Tranq isn't an opioid, it doesn't respond to the overdose reversing drug naloxone, making it especially dangerous. Mary Lyndon Salter, executive director of the Tennessee Association of Alcohol, Drug, and Other Addiction Services, is trying to spread the word that it's on the rise in Tennessee, offering training that could protect you and your family.
The drugs have changed. This is a whole different strength. It's a whole different issue.
According to the most recent data from the State Department of Health, xylazine-involved deaths in Tennessee increased from 23 in 2019 to 192 3 years later. Every time, other drugs were also detected in the person's system, most often fentanyl, meth, and cocaine.
The drug supply is heavily laced with fentanyl and xylazine, so you're not getting away from it either if you're an active user. So that's the biggest problem.
The Tennessee Association of Alcohol, Drugs, and Other Addiction Services recently hosted a training on the deadly combination of xylazine, meth, and fentanyl. Tennessee legislators also cracking down on the drug by passing a law criminalizing xylazine last year, resulting in multiple arrests across the state, including one in Knox County this past March, according to the sheriff's office. But experts say more can be done.
It doesn't just stop the addiction when you stop the supply. And so we have to do things to actually provide enough treatment and ongoing treatment and support.
Hoping clinicians, recovery specialists, law enforcement, and other experts can work together to tackle Tranq in Tennessee. Reporting in Nashville, I'm Tori Gessner.
And this training on Tranq was funded through a grant from the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse. These trainings are open to the public, and we put a link on WKRN.com with details.
Welcome back to Break 50.
But that's the thing in golf, like this.
Knock, knock. Hi there. I'd love to show you what a K-12 powered school is.
Back here at home, tracking crime, 5 people reportedly involved in a shootout involving a Metro detective in Wilson County, now facing charges. We're told around 11 p.m. the detective was surveying the East Nashville area of Howerton Street and North 6th Street when he was shot at. Police say about 20 shell casings were found at the scene, but the officer was not hurt. Now, those shooters reportedly sped off in a stolen Infiniti headed to Wilson County with a Metro Police helicopter tracking them. That's when Mount Juliet officers were called in. They stopped the car using spike strips on I-40 right there at the Golden Bear Gateway exit. Now, the suspects bailed from the vehicle, but officers were able to round them all up and then take them into custody. We're told 6 guns were tossed out of that car in the middle of that chase, along with a fair amount of marijuana and cash. All 5 men in age from 23 to 18 are now charged with multiple crimes, and we have their pictures here, including aggravated assault on a first responder, using guns in the commission of a dangerous felony, auto theft, gun theft, felony marijuana possession, as well as evading arrest.
Troubled Millersville Police Department is now the focus of a TBI investigation. Hi, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston. This development follows an exclusive News Channel 5 investigation that raised questions about a child predator sting run by the department and what appears to be lies told under oath. News Channel 5 Chief Investigative Reporter Phil Williams uncovered this latest scandal. And Phil, finally, someone's paying attention.
Yeah, it sure looks that way. The DA, whose district includes Robertson County, tells me he requested the help from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation after seeing my investigations. Among the issues, he wants to determine whether Millersville police intentionally decided they would lie to a judge.
Basically, we were working with the Vets for Children Rescue and doing some operations with them.
2 months ago, Millersville conspiracy cop Sean Taylor teamed up with a controversial group, Veterans for Child Rescue, that claims to have experience running stings searching for child sex predators. Bad boys, what you gonna do? A cheesy video put out by that group boasted of its success, 1 arrest and a potential 70 additional warrants. But after News Channel 5 investigators obtained secret recordings from that sting, it is now the focus of a probe by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. DA Robert Nash tells me, quote, "I do think what I saw in your reporting is troubling and very serious, and I am doing what I can to get more facts." News Channel 5 legal analyst Nick Leonardo.
That this is the most disturbing video that I've ever been asked to comment on since I've been doing the legal analyst job here at the station.
Oh, yes, you can get my number. Yes.
Those recordings show volunteers from Veterans for Child Rescue like Kim Kelly were the ones posing as the minor, even though state law says it has to be law enforcement. Police arrested 1 man who had bicycled up I-65 thinking he was going to have sex with a 12-year-old girl. But when the case went to court, this man, Detective Todd Doris, testified that he and a fellow detective were actually the ones doing the chatting.
It does not represent the truth of what really happened during that operation.
You were the one actually chatting with the suspect.
Yes.
Detective Doris declined to comment on whether he might have committed perjury during his testimony, a question that could have consequences for other investigations involving the Millersville Police Department. When former Mayor Tim Lassiter was arrested back in the spring, Doris was the one who signed the warrant. DA Nash tells me, quote, "I can't comment on an open investigation, but I am trying to get to the bottom of it." How long this investigation will take is anybody's guess. Meanwhile, DA Nash tells me that he will personally review the file of that one man charged in the sting to determine what should happen next. And Rory, of course, will be watching.
No doubt about it. Phil, thank you.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel.
Tonight, an explosive new development that could bring new trouble for the already troubled Millersville Police Department. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Hunter Hoagland. A key player in a child predator sting out of Millersville says the lead detective on that operation lied under oath. Our chief investigator reporter, Phil Williams, has uncovered the latest development. Phil, what'd you find out?
Well, what we discovered is not just this one woman's word. All of these questions stem from secret recordings that we obtained from that child predator sting back in May. Recordings that we discovered that do not match the detective's sworn testimony in this case.
All right, on the record matter of State of Tennessee versus Henry Dean Jordan.
Here in Robertson County, a police detective raises his right hand and takes the oath.
Swear affirm testimony I'm about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir. That witness, Millersville Detective Todd Doris, took the stand testifying about his role in a sex predator sting. Authorities say this man, Henry Dean Jordan, hit up an online profile created for the sting, then bicycled up I-65 from Nashville thinking he was going to have sex with a 12-year-old girl. State law makes it illegal to solicit sex from a minor or a law enforcement officer posing online as a minor.
When you say you created it, who was doing the typing or the in the app? Who was putting the information into the app?
I was. On the stand, Detective Doris testified that members of a nonprofit group, Veterans for Child Rescue, helped advise them during the sting, but he swore under oath that he and this man, Detective Mike Candler, did all the work.
You and the other detective actually did all the typing and all the data entry?
Yes, sir.
How did you just...
We played the detective's testimony for Kim Kelly.
At any point in time, did the nonprofit group send any message? No, sir.
Your face speaks volumes. Well, what's your reaction?
It does not represent the truth of what really happened during that operation.
How do you know?
I was there.
You were the one actually chatting with the suspect.
Yes.
Yeah, I encountered this man on an app called Moco Space.
Kim Kelly worked with that nonprofit group posting this video after the sting was done. Kim had also secretly recorded parts of that operation after some associates warned that some of what she was being asked to do might not be legal. And Millersville's conspiracy-minded Assistant Police Chief Sean Taylor initially confirmed her concerns.
So we just talked to our DA. And so with the Tennessee state law, it says that the officer has to do the actual typing. That with our law, it says that it has to be a law enforcement officer posing as a minor.
But when she got to Millersville,
Can we chat at the house or should we not wait until...
Cannot chat without one of the officers present. Yes.
Okay.
Sean Taylor's plans had changed.
We were told that as long as we had one of the two detectives in the room with us as chatters, meaning people who aren't law enforcement texting pervs, as long as we had one of these two detectives with us in the room, that was allowed.
Did he explain why he had changed his tune?
They just said that that was the way that it was authorized.
Remember, state law says it has to be law enforcement posing as the minors, which is exactly what Detective Doris told the judge they did.
They just advise, hey, certain things to say and so forth.
Yes, sir.
And you either took their advice or didn't take their advice.
Yes, sir.
This was us, not law enforcement, individuals who care, setting up profiles on these apps, not dating apps, not dark web apps, but apps on the internet, setting up a profile as a child and just being inundated with predators, flooding our inboxes.
For me, like, I need to know what you'll need so I can work up to that. You know what I mean?
As much as you can. And Kim's video confirms her story that she and her fellow volunteers were doing the chatting.
Oof, yes, you can get my number. Yes.
And while the detectives were there for advice, Kim says the chatters were pretty much on their own. Were the officers watching over your shoulder,
supervising what you were typing?
But no, they weren't standing over our shoulder or assisting us.
But remember, Detective Todd Doris told the court under oath that the detectives did everything, including picking the AI-generated profile pic for what was supposed to be a 12-year-old girl.
And was that picture suggested by the veteran group, nonprofit group?
No, I actually picked that one out myself.
It's a picture of me using a filter to make it look like a child.
In truth, Kim says the detective had nothing to do with any of that. Did Detective Doris create the account?
No,
Did he pick the profile pic?
no,
Did he ever send any of the messages to the suspect?
no,
So everything you heard there was a lie.
yes.
They saw the guy at the gas station, but they didn't have sirens to arrest him.
But that wasn't the only red flag. In at least one case, they had a potential predator who had driven to the area that they just lost.
You have eyes on them. How do you lose them? I was also told that they were unable to just make the arrest because they didn't have a siren on the car. And
Didn't have a siren.
I was like, make a sound with your mouth. Like, what does that mean?
They said he was pedaling like a son of a bitch.
Then there was this detective's admission about what happened when the one suspect was arrested and told police he did not want to talk.
I just walked out. And also, camera crew went in and just started asking him questions. He just gave everything up.
The camera crew went in?
Yeah.
Is that?
That's fine. We didn't prompt him. We didn't prompt him to ask any questions. We didn't have him do anything. It was unsolicited, and he just started what we call spontaneous utterance, just laying it out there.
Henry, thank you for your candor.
A recording obtained by News Channel 5 Investigate shows the man interviewing the suspect identified himself as John. Among those on the team, mega podcaster John Stubbins.
And I said, huh? Like, is that normal? Is that allowed? And
But that struck you as being improper.
it struck me as strange,
And it might jeopardize the case.
possibly, among other things.
And this case involving this one man goes to the heart of Kim's concerns with what she saw with Millersville, as well as with Veterans for Child Rescue.
I believe from the interactions that I had with that predator on the internet, this man is harmful for children and he should not be preying upon children in the way that I encountered him on the app.
Sadly, she doubts any of the sick individuals she encountered online in this operation, as well as the other recent ones with Veterans for Child Rescue, will ever be brought to justice. While stings like this may make headlines and help the nonprofit raise money, she says the public is not served when the people with the guns and badges themselves do not follow the law.
If you have to deceive and add other layers of deception to the operation, not only is that not sustainable, that's not effective. You're supposed to be anti-corruption. You can't add more layers of corruption to try to fix a corrupt problem.
And that's Kim Kelly's point. The reason she's talking, she says this is important work that needs to be done correctly. This morning, I briefly spoke with Detective Doris, telling him that we wanted to give him a chance to respond, but he politely declined to give me his side of the story or any explanation. Meanwhile, Assistant Police Chief Sean Taylor and Craig Sawyer, the man who founded Veterans for Child Rescue, have claimed that this sting got enough evidence to arrest an additional 70 predators. But Kim Kelly says that based on what she observed as one of the chatters, she doesn't think there's any way that number could be real. Of course, our investigation is continuing. Rory?